How's it going, everyone? And welcome to another episode of No Excuses on YouTube.com with your favorite.
Fenorian.
And Rollosell, and we're here to bring you the latest news and games commentary for the week, although it was a week of a lot of... Technically, there was a lot of news, but a lot of it was underwhelming or retreads of things that we didn't really need to know. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, we would still do our usual thing and bring you our, shallowly thought out opinions of it, whatever occurs to us to say at the time, as usual. And if you'd like to get involved with the show, you can do so by sending us email at noexcusesvtw@gmail.com. You can follow us on the Twitter at noexcusesvtw, or you can communicate with the show hosts and other show listeners live on our Discord channel, which you can get to by clicking in the link provided underneath the show description in the archive on YouTube.
Yes, indeed. So we were going to start the show with some Yo-Yo Nanigans, but Vern has to patch. So that's
I have to patch, and in true Ho-Yo launcher fashion, I have no idea what my progress actually is. I know it's at 78% at the moment, but I don't know how long that's going to take, or how big the file size is, or anything else. Because those numbers just seem to change at random.
It doesn't bear any relationship to the amount of time taken in any way.
No, it does not.
Yep. So
I'll jump into Genshin whenever I'm allowed to.
Yep. So I'm just gonna help Ball Bop his weeklies while Fern.
Yes. All right. Shall we jump into weeks then?
Yep. Go for it.
My week has been kind of a mess because I'm back into the Hell March at the moment until things improve. Because of course we're down another worker again. So yay, there goes free time. But it's been an interesting week. It was our local town show this weekend, so we got a bit of catharsis by entering my brother's old beat-up car that's been taking up space in the backyard for like 8 years into the demolition derby.
What?
Well, that is one way to get rid of a car.
That is, actually, it passed through a couple of hands, ended up in the hands of the local fire brigade who entered it in the demolition derby.
Okay.
So, yeah. I think they ended up going head-to-head with the police entrance right at the end and ultimately ended up in a double knockout. So that car actually did a lot better than I expected it to, considering its fuel tank had fallen off last time it drove. So, yeah, that was an interesting bit of catharsis, at least, just to see that thing dead and gone. But speaking of dead and gone, a lot of my week this week has actually been dealing with something that everyone in Queensland has been dealing with lately, and that is the rat plague.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Because we had a fairly good... Because suddenly rats. We had a pretty good wet season, and the conditions are right, and the rat population has just exploded.
It will do that, given half a chance.
Yeah, we're kind of on the edge of the swarm here. That's largely stuck to the plains, so they've kind of swung off to the north. But we still get plenty in here, and they've started to make their way into the houses now. So that's been great. One of them that's gotten into this house has had a taste for internet cords, namely the DSL cord that hooks the modem up into the main line. It ate 3 of them.
Oh.
And nothing else.
As you do.
Do you put some kind of something delicious in your DSL cords or something?
We know why.
I don't know.
It's because his internet lines are made out of spiders.
Possibly.
The rat was just eating the spiders.
Yeah, the thing was living
I don't know, eating Australian spiders sounds like a really bad idea.
It does. The thing was stuck in the junk room or the storeroom that we have, but that room is missing some lining on it, and said lining is into the back of the panel where the internet cord is. So this rat actually had to grab the main internet line, drag that through the wall just to get at the DSL cord that plugs into the modem, and then chew that.
I see.
So it could have done a lot more damage than it actually did. But yeah, thankfully they're just a brown bush rat, which means they're big and very hard to kill, but also adorable. And that makes it even worse because like they're a plague and they're a pest, but they're so cute. Ah,
I've never heard.
Are they a literal plague?
at this point, I'd say yes.
Like no, like do they carry plague?
Oh no. The bush rats themselves are actually, as far as vermin go, incredibly clean. They don't carry a whole lot of disease. They're very healthy animals. There's just way too many of them.
Yeah, around here, about the only pest type animal you can get away with not touching is like turtles. They're like the only thing that doesn't carry a disease around here.
Oh, you're
We get the occasional stray turtle, and they tend to show up in the mail more than anything else.
I was cutting my grass earlier and had to change my grass cutting path because there was a turtle.
I mean, as far as pests go, turtles wouldn't be a bad one. So yeah, that's been fun. Yeah.
Okay, so don't ever try and res a character during combat. It's not worth it.
I can't heal.
All I did was
seconds.
trade. All I did was trade one character for another.
Yeah, the game doesn't pause while you're rummaging through your inventory.
Well, it does on single player.
Oh, it does on single player, yes. Not multiplayer. As far as gaming goes, largely it's been Star Rail. It's been just a nice, chill thing I can sit and poke around at. Still doing the side content, but I did break into Equilibrium 2, and oh boy, there's the difficulty spike. I just went
spiking.
immediately. Yeah, I just went from comfortably doing just about every fight I came across to either barely making it through or getting bodied, depending on what I was fighting.
Yeah.
So it's time to stop and grind because I'm also out of XP items. I have entered this phase of the game where I will never have enough XP items.
I'm gonna die when it does the 1-1, and you'll be by yourself. Enjoy. Because my latency is off the freaking charts.
I'm spamming. I'm having Barbara tank it.
Yeah.
We need some high rolls.
So yeah. I also went through and did the Trailblaze continuance for the space station, which introduces a couple of very colourful characters. Ron May is very odd, very detached in her own way.
Very
I kinda like her, though.
sociopathic in her own way. I
Yes.
adore her, but she is definitely a sociopath. She is a red
You-
flag.
You are creating life, but you seem not to care at all about it.
Chunk of my dream solve and I'll take it.
I am missing a bronze cactuar. Where did it go? Oh no, where did it go? Oh, I got touch the goal at least. Touch.
Gotta get
I gotta go find it.
lazy to wake up.
So yeah, Run May introduces you to the world of Cake Cats, which is another rabbit hole to fall down. Although I
Yes,
think I've
indeed.
kind of
I
hit a
love the Cake
progression
Cats.
on them. They're cute and very, very strange in what they say.
Well, they were created by Ron May.
Yeah. And on the other side of the same side of the spectrum, you have Dr. Ratio, who I appreciate just because of how uncaring and condescending he is.
Are you a masochist? The thing is that he's not uncaring. That's the thing. He's actually one of the most altruistic, caring people in the cast. It's just that it comes from a place of his life's mission is to better people by making them less stupid.
Yes.
Like
But the problem is,
it's sort of lost in the translation, but the word for doctor used in the original script is the word for a medical doctor, not a PhD. So he actually thinks that he's healing the world by making people less dumb.
Yes. The problem is he is not even slightly afraid to tell you just how stupid you are. But I appreciate his fighting style, where he launches chalk the size of a skyscraper at things. So that's fun.
How he do.
And yeah, just that whole thing has running around after cake cats and this strange bag creature that the cake cat likes, and you flush that down the toilet because
Oh no!
why not? Yeah,
No,
it's
not that. Not that.
Oh no!
The boss fight Vault drugged me into.
Oh no!
You got a problem?
Oh no! It's just is this guy. Anyway, continue with cake cats.
Yes. So yeah, you have all that silliness going on, and you're dealing with Ron May, and then all of a sudden, Dr. Ratio turns up, and you're playing Danganronpa.
That is how he do.
That is how he do. So that was fun. And that whole chapter, like, it's not exactly the lightest tone, but it's fun enough, and it introduces a new bad guy and a few other bits and pieces. So I can see why you say it was very important. Because it sets up the what were they called now? The Destruction League,
Annihilation Gang.
That's the one.
Nanook's unwanted groupies.
Yes. So it sets up those crazies and their boss, who is just living fire, living magical fire. Because why not? I guess. But yeah, beyond that, it's been that I've been doing the cake cat or the critter picker quests, which have been oddly engaging. All you're doing is mashing cake cats together and seeing what you get. I think I've hit a progression window on that wall on that for the moment, because there's some side quests I've got to go do where I sneak around the space station as a dog.
Ah, yes, the Peppy quests.
The Peppy quests.
Yes, Esther's pet dog is not a character who is done with at the end of the space station. Oh no, he's a important factor in the way this particular continuance plays out.
Yes. So that's fine, and haven't pushed into the next major chapter yet. I want to knock over some of this side content first. So yeah, it's been very much silliness. Naturally, when Run May drugs the Trailblazer, so they can't actually talk about Run May, I had to select that option every single time. Which meant running around the space station screaming, "I am the galactic baseballer," at everyone. And the voice actors for that line in English had a lot of fun with it, because he just hams it up completely. It's great. So yeah, I think my next week for Star Rail is basically just going to be grinding. Because yeah, that jump up from the 40 bracket up to 50 is not cheap.
Yeah, I have thankfully pre-farmed a absolutely stupid amount of EXP when I do actually start playing.
Oh no, you haven't.
So
the
okay.
XP expenditure curve is unspeakably sharp.
Let me rephrase. I'm hoping it will last me one equilibrium level.
It'll probably get you through Equilibrium 1.
For one team. It won't be for your entire cast like you currently have.
Yeah, I have everybody at level 40 or whatever the highest level you can get at level 0 is.
Yeah. For me, it lasted me my main team plus a couple of extras, because I swapped in for one boss fight. I ended up doing like 2 physical, 2 ice, and absolutely bodying a boss, because it was just did not want to play nice with my regular team. So yeah, it's a fun time. It's light, it's fun, it's silly. I haven't hit the the philosophical black hole that is chapter 3 yet, at the very least. I actually know the least about chapter 2 than I do about chapter 3, so that's going to be interesting. Genshin is still patching.
So,
Yeah.
Who can
Beyond
we
that,
kill?
that's been my week, really. I did poke at a couple of demos. The most notable one, because they got the big Steam event going on, the most notable one was the what was it now? Almost Human? Was it Almost Human? No, where is it? Gotta find it. Because I'm actually trading for time a little bit here. I am padding. Here it is. Once Human, which is the I guess body horror style survival crafting game. That game wears its SCP on its face, is what it does.
You'll never beat Control in terms of how inspired it is.
Oh, yeah?
Inspired
Once
is
Human,
one word
the
for it.
first major boss is, I'm just going to call it 3G Head. It is nicknamed the Siren. That's how close we're talking here. So,
Why did I open this?
I played through the
I
tutorial
almost
of that. And that
certainly
was...
don't need this. Why did I open this boss flower?
Of all the bosses that you could choose.
Yeah, pick the worst one. So yeah, that's fun. Also, yeah, poking at Elden Ring a little bit, not as much as I'd have liked.
Yeah, your cheesy build is gonna lead to some wacky play curves, and you're hitting the difficulty spike that
Yeah,
that comes with Lanedale.
Lanedale it's fun. I like exploring Lanedale. There's all sorts of hidden corners, and it's easy to get lost. But yeah, those bosses are really starting to ramp up.
Yeah, the one you're on right now is the freebie before the real boss.
Yeah. The fact that I'm coming at him and I've just not played the game for like 3 months, I'm coming at it a bit rusty. So that doesn't help. Like I'll get him if I keep at him and just get my timings right on the dodge rolls. The problem with doing the silly shield build is I have no reach, like at all.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes having no reach can be handy. I usually carry a fist weapon, usually the one you get from Godric's Remembrance around for that.
Yep. Like there's a few bosses where having no reach is an actual advantage.
Well, not so much bosses as when you're fighting in tight corridors, but you'll bounce.
Oh yeah,
if your weapon's too
definitely
big, and you're either reduced to only using thrusting attacks, or you'll just bounce and hit walls all the time. So carrying around a short reach weapon is handy for those situations. But
aim down the whole way and shield crash.
But there are many bosses that
they have the bigness, and anything with the bigness is reach is an issue.
Yeah, because some bosses you just don't want to be right on their nut.
No. Golden Godric is, I think, one of them because he tends to combo a lot.
The thing with the Godric fight, the ghost version anyway, and how do I put this? He very heavily emphasizes dodging over blocking. He's just going to do too much guard crush to safely keep blocking. I had to whip out Shuttlecock for this one when I saw you teleport over.
Thankfully, he's got a number of attacks where you just step to the left and you can dodge them.
Yeah,
as long as you're not right in his face. I am right in his face though, so yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna keep picking at Elden Ring. It's still a very, very, very good game, and I just not getting frustrated with it like I do for a lot of other Souls-likes, because it never feels like the game is cheating, or everything basically comes down to I'm done, or I just did a dumb.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of not FromSoft Souls games they just feel like the game cheats.
Yeah. FromSoft's gotten a lot better with that stuff. My biggest complaint with Elden Ring, I think, is it just gives too many outs to challenges
Yeah.
because of its nature as an open world game. So it makes discussing the game very difficult with people when it comes to their experience with bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro are the best for universal boss difficulty. Well, there is no builds. But talking to somebody that played Dark Souls 3 or Sekiro, talking about any boss, I can get a rough feel for what their experience was like on that, like super mega ultra grind.
Yeah.
But talking somebody about their experience with the boss in Elden Ring, it's totally up in the air.
Yeah. Like, you may have done it level appropriate, but for all I know, I didn't find that boss until much, much later, and I just overpowered it.
Yeah,
Or you might have mimicked it.
Or I might have mimicked it.
The bigger problem, more than over leveling in Elden Ring, which is an issue for a lot of the bosses, is things like just how many ways to cheese it with stuff that's technically in the game, and like, yeah, that works, I guess. And the game. There's nothing that the game explicitly says, no, this is the wrong way to play with. But stuff like the Mimic Tier just ruin the ability to communicate with other players about their experience.
Yeah.
Stuff like what else? Like
there's a few caster builds which are just nukes.
The Azure Comet Cheese build is pretty well known. The Flame of the Redmanes exploit, where it can down any boss in two uses of the weapon skill. There's just a whole lot of they've done a good enough job of culling out the most broken stuff, but there's just still way too much in there, I think. And then there's just the summons in general. Even if you don't use Mimic here, somebody that does use a summon versus somebody that doesn't is going to have a radically different experience than.
Yeah. Like, even the most basic summon, it's enough to get the boss to turn around, and that sometimes really just opens you up to go ham on it for a minute. So, yeah. It says a lot about the game, how there's so many different ways to solve problems. But, yeah, some of them are just, you didn't really solve the problem, did you?
Yeah. Because my experience with Moog was one-on-one, 1v1 me, Final Destination, no items, katanas only. Somebody else's experience is going to be quite a bit different.
Yes.
Because even just using a summon in that fight to take aggro off you so you don't get caught by the delay combo every single time he does it is going to make your kill faster.
Oh, I know. I should use a flamethrower on Godric. That's what I should do.
Yeah, Godric is Ghost Godric is considered a joke boss. he's so easy compared to what comes after. So
because after Godric is Moog.
No, after him is Vol's. I don't want to spoil it for Vol what comes next. If you may know from watching others, but in case Vol actually gets to that point in the game, it's actually.
I know there's at least one spoilery boss in there.
Yeah, the very next boss after Golden Godfrey and Lindell.
Yes. So we're not going to talk about that one.
But yes, you can fight a baby illusion version of Moog at the bottom of the.
Oh yeah, I got to go down the sewer. I haven't even touched that yet.
Yeah, that area takes you to the fingerprint shield.
The sewer area.
Yeah, the very, very bottom.
Yeah. But basically, I looked it up, and it's like the shield is in Lindell, and that's where I decided to stop reading because okay, I'll go find it for myself from there because that's half the fun.
Oh well, there you go. You will never ever find it without a guide.
Oh, okay. It's not like that, is it?
The multiple illusory walls. Like you will legitimately never find this without a guide. You can noodle. I've been able to noodle my way through. I don't remember where any of the illusions are specifically when I load into what I've been doing, but the messages are generally pretty handy, and just the secret path ahead generic ones are not as prevalent. However, the if you see a random wall with a ton of messages in front of it, you can be relatively certain that you need to smack that wall.
Yep. It depends on which ones messages the game decides it's going to load, because sometimes it'll just load all the wrong ones, and you'll only get the fake out ones.
Well, the thing is, the fake out ones are less popular now. The game's not out, and generally the people helpful messages now.
Generally, yeah.
I guess the type of player that sticks around this late in Elden Ring's life cycle, the type to say, try attacking or hidden path ahead against a wall that's just going to make your sword bounce.
Yeah. We're looking at you, Volcano Manor, though, for the one wall in the game which you need to hit a lot. And all it does is open it up into a room you could just walk around to go to.
It's still technically a shortcut.
It technically is.
So the thing with that particular wall, it's the one I'm thinking of. That shortcut in Volcano Manor is useful if you have not gotten into Volcano Manor the normal way, because you cannot go through the front door unless you come in the front.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I came in the normal way, so
yeah, if you don't,
it is not the most useful.
If you come in the back door by various means to get teleported there, the most common is the Iron Maiden at the bottom, Raya Lucaria, and if you die to its grab attack specific teleport you.
I hate those things; they're so annoying. The hitbox on that grab attack tends to be a bit big.
Grabs cannot be blocked or dodged; you just have to be out of range.
Yeah, you can wiggle your way out of it if your health is high enough, though.
Yeah,
you've really got to mash those buttons, though.
Generally, if you just rotate the stick while you like buttons, out pretty pop out with
yeah.
Sticks.
Yeah. Usually, though, that'll take about half your health.
Yeah, well, every hit will take about half your health.
True.
The threshold of health breakpoints in Elden Ring is how many more hits will this let me take than normal? Because yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna leave my week at that.
Yeah. I don't really have much of a week, so I'm piggybacking on your Elden Ring about a little bit.
All right, that's fine. We can Elden Ring.
But yeah. I'll just piggyback off you because I really won't have. The DLC prep work is in progress for me anyway. I do not know about. Do you have the DLC pre-purchase, or are you planning to buy it?
I'm planning to buy it, but I haven't finished the main game yet, so there's no real reason to pre-purchase it at this point unless they put a discount on it, which I don't think they did.
So I do not remember off the top of my head if Elden Ring lets you hold the game in a completed state after you beat it and before you start New Game Plus, or if it tries to kick you to New Game Plus right away. Might be worth it to hang on the last few bosses and do the DLC and then come back.
Okay. Woof. That is $60.
Yeah. When I said expansion pack, I wasn't kidding.
It is a chonker of an expansion, though. So yes.
Yes. If pattern holds, you will be getting what you pay for.
Right.
Well, so, you'll be getting what you pay for if you can beat Mohg first.
Yeah,
if I can beat Mohg.
Yeah, that's the kicker. You in not the baby preview of Mohg at the bottom of the sewers. No.
No, Mohg Prime.
Yeah, the real one.
Yes.
There's actually, if you do Vare's quest in Liurnia, the maidenless meme guy.
Yep.
He will give you an item that's a one-time teleport that takes you right to the Grace out in front of Mohg's palace. And I've actually done that quest. That's not too far into the game, and I have the item, so I can go to Mohg whenever I want. The problem is, both Moog and the DLC probably are going to require me to be about level 100 and you to be about level 120.
Yes. So I got a bit of grinding to do before I'm even ready to look at the expansion at this point.
There is
The
a
only-
incredibly easy grinding spot in Moog's area, though.
Okay. Not those doofuses on that tree branch.
I know. No,
Okay.
in Moog's
The
area,
rock, the rock, the boulder.
the boulder is good.
Boulders.
Before you have access to Moog's Palace, the boulder is very handy because it's so fast.
I thought they patched the boulder.
They made it give less runes, but it's still 2,000 per run.
Fair enough.
So you can still totally use it to get a few levels early to equip, get your build started and equip the weapon you want.
That's what I used it for, because I really wanted to use a colossal sword, but I couldn't. So it's like, well, boulder, because I need the requirements.
That option is still available. It just will scale off pretty quick. 2,000 runes is not significant enough to keep going past like level 70.
Yeah,
And,
at this point I'm needing like 40,000.
So
And I can just go push an idiot off a tree branch and get 2,000.
yeah, no, they're the little Albinauric dudes, the frog face looking dudes.
Oh yeah,
The,
those guys.
the dude that can give you the alien head.
Yes.
There's
What's
like
the drop rate on that thing anyways? Like 2%?
I think it's actually in the world. I don't think it drops from.
Okay.
Yeah, in Moog in hell basically, which is where Moog lives. There is a
Where he
hilltop.
belongs.
Yeah, there is
Yes.
there's a hilltop with about 12 or 15 of those guys, and they all give
Oh.
EXP scaled for his zone, even though they're all really.
The only
really
way you could
squishy.
make that worse is if it was those Google-eyed lizard things with the death breath.
Oh, this place is clearly set up to be the rune grinding spot by design for late game, because they're all passive when you first walk in. You'll have a couple active ones patrolling, but most of them are passive, so you pop the easy ones if you're too low level, or kill the big ones first.
Aha. All right. So let's see. I need to do a bit of research on how to get that shield then.
Totally out of. Where's the fern?
Still patching.
What percentage are you at?
92.
Okay, he's almost here.
Random number, random number, random number.
Yeah, it's almost time for Yaya.
Almost. Maybe. This is saying it's 17:50, 17:22 minutes.
We will keep on this streaming.
All right. So yeah, 60. Like, I know it is an expensive and expansive pack, but oof.
Yeah, so one of the things to keep in mind with going for the fingerprint shield is you thought the parkour in that tower was bad? Just you wait.
I figured out, the parkour, once I figured out where the path actually went, because there's a couple of fake out paths in there.
Yeah, the parkour in that tower is quite intensive. The parkour at the bottom of the
Yes.
sewers is the most infamous bit of parkour in the game. And you have to do it legitimately to get the fingerprint shield.
Great. All right, I'll burn off all my runes, and that way I don't need to lose anything if I get it wrong.
Yep. And furthermore, the sewers are probably the single most confusing area to navigate.
Oh, great.
Because they're in sewers. They all look
And they're under Lindell, which is already a maze.
Yeah, and
Are
it
they
all
also poisonous?
I think
Also, yes.
I think at the very bottom they are.
Yeah, I think there's poison in there. I think there's crimson in there as well. Because it's like super poison.
Oh, Scarlet.
Poison, but red.
Yeah, Scarlet Rot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's just poison, but more poison.
So yeah, I'm catching up to you in my playthrough. I have just bopped Radon before the show, and one thing I wanted to point out, they did Radon dirty in that patch that nerfed him, like really dirty.
Okay, when did they nerf him?
One of the early patches, the first or second one.
All right.
They functionally halved his health.
Wow.
They
I didn't even notice it when I was fighting him, but maybe it's because I hit like a wet noodle, so
Yeah,
I did notice.
because I got stuck on that boss. Everybody
Yeah,
got
I
stuck
did.
on Radon.
Yeah, at least I did the Radahn the legit way first time.
Yeah, it is totally feasible to kill him before he has time to cycle through his entire moveset.
Yeah, okay.
And the like phase 1 will be practically nothing, and because it's El Solo, you can just go full offense and pops you, take a hit
Yeah.
from him. So
I did kill him with a kukri though. This last time, he was jumped up in the air to do his big meteor attack. I just threw a weapon at him and he fell down on the ground. So that was fun.
Oh, you can. Oh, I guess you interrupted the cast of it. He'll still phase
Yep.
transition if he does that. It may not do the attack though. Never.
Oh no, he was already in phase 2 for that.
Oh,
he does the
other
big meteor, the other big meteor.
Okay, the
the medium meteor, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, they did him real dirty because he used to be a legitimately challenging boss, no matter what you had. Just because he had a massive health pool, and it was to a point where it clearly expected you to use the summons that are in the area as a gimmick fight.
Now, if you run around and hit all the summons, you can just stand back and they'll do a fight for you.
Yeah, that didn't used to be the case. I think they also buffed the summons. Because I summoned Alexander for funsies, and while he wasn't doing anything in the fight, or even taking aggro, he didn't die. And he died like 30 times when I was trying to do him before.
Of the summons, the two that I saw die the most was Alexander, because Radahn just hated him for some reason.
He's also fat.
And he just charged over and smash him, and Patches, because...
Well, Patches doesn't die. Patches nopes out of there as soon as you summon him.
Yeah, he just summons and he just legs it.
Yeah, if you click the summon Patches sign, he'll just leave.
He just runs away. It's great. But he can also get nailed, which is fun.
I've never ever seen him stay long enough to take a hit before.
Yeah. You have to stand next to him while he's summoning for him to get hit, and you'll usually get a spear to the face.
Yeah, I've Patches always books it as soon as he gets summoned. It's funny. But yeah, it's like you could probably just have the summon solo him at this point. Like they've done pretty. And I really don't like FromSoft doing this. I get that their game is stupidly popular and they want to capitalize on that, but they are the one company that makes a video game for people that like challenging content. Everybody else is trying to cater to the casual crowd in every way, shape, and form. Like just give us the one company that makes those games. I really hope they don't continue down this path, but money is a real good motivator for them.
Yeah, I don't particularly relish excessive challenge in any particular way, but I would be kind of ticked if after all that time I spent fighting Margit, they just decided to halve his health.
Yeah. I get that Radahn was a huge problem and causing people to quit the game because of that, but that's the nature of gimmick fights. They made him a gimmick fight to begin with, and they just completely decided, okay, we don't like the gimmick fight, we're just going to basically... That is not the correct answer. Because the fight I did this run around is nothing like the fight I did with when I first started the game. So yeah, that's that was my experience with Radahn. The rest of the game, I'm trying to go through fast, so I went and quickly got Radagon Source Seal early, 320 levels and a talisman, BOP, and I have while I'm still doing a balance build, I've decided to upgrade a weapon I'm familiar with just to get quicker, because my goal is to get Rogue as fast as possible, so that with a decent enough equipment set that I can deal with whatever the DLC throws at me without having to leave it. But this means my only way of getting through quickly, learning a new weapon and losing multiple times on bosses, is going to be a no-go. So I've eschewed Spirit Summoning because I still think it just destroys the game feel. But I did pull out the Uchi Katana again and just re-leveled that up. Because I'm just comfortable with the weapon and know its moveset, and have the fist from Godric, like I mentioned before, because
Yeah.
to have as a blunt weapon.
Actually, that's another place I think I'm getting stuck to. Is the level 6 runestone gap, I guess. I just
Right.
cannot find enough of those things.
Yeah, at the point I'm at after beating Radahn, my weapon is like plus 16,
Yep.
plus 18 or something. And I have not gone to Altus Plateau at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
You fire up Elden Ring. I'm going to do a little bit of prodding around while I wait. 'Cause I think I've got the Seedbed Curse. I think.
there are 5 of those.
Yeah, I think I got one of them. And you only need one to unlock the sewers.
Yeah. What's your patch in that?
95.
I think,
You've got 3%? 3?
I got 3%.
I think Fall ran out of resin like 120 resin ago.
I've
So you
been
wanna compare
churning
mine?
through. I've been churning through the whatchamacallit, the fragile resin instead.
Oh no. Oh no.
Unfortunately, there's no domains open that I particularly want except this one. Even my Yao weapon doesn't have any. Doesn't have a domain open right now. Good grief.
I can't even like pull out the shuttlecock for funsies runs because this domain is the use Geo or go home. It's like the one domain in the game where it's use Geo or go home too.
Well, that's why I like it so much, because I don't have to change off from my main.
Let's see.
see.
No, I don't think I've got a Seedbed Curse. I do have a random arm in my inventory, though. Need to go turn that in.
Yeah, there's a Seedbed Curse just floating around somewhere in the capital. I found a few, I think, in there.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch just laying around.
Yeah, you
Just gotta go find them.
You can get that one pretty easy. I think just you can look up where it is if you. I think it's near the back end of the city. It is higher up.
Yeah.
I remember having to go vertical to get not quite onto the roof.
Easiest way to check if I've got one rather than search through my inventory is just go and see if I can turn it in. And Table of Lost Grace. Let's go.
Yeah, the sewers are a maze. If you want a pro tip, there's an Ash of War called the Butt Slam. I don't know what it's actually called, but it's the Butt Slam move. Put that on a weapon because it gives you slightly more jump height than you would otherwise, and it will help you get across a gap that is very obnoxious and will make progressing through the sewers way easier.
Anything that makes parkouring less painful is useful.
I would put it on an old weapon.
I do not have one. I want the East Rampart Grace.
Also,
let's go to the East Rampart.
You know where the Roly Boulder is?
In Lindell? Oh, yeah, right near the entrance.
No, not that one. The Roly Boulder in Caelid that you use for leveling up early.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yep.
Okay, if you go backwards a little bit, there's a Knight Cavalry that drops the Bloodhound step after Ash of War.
Yep, okay. I haven't fought that guy yet.
If you go, like, if you were going from the cathedral, the Beast Clergyman's Cathedral down towards the Rise, across like the first bridge, going up from the Rise, where the Roly Boulder is, there's a Knight's Cavalry that spawns on it. And if you manage to kill him, you get the Bloodhound step Ash of War. And he can just jump off the bridge.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it has happened more than once to me. They say they have fixed it twice in the patch notes. They have not. Because he fell off when I fought him this time too.
Oh, Bok is here. Hello, Bok.
Be careful with Bok. Don't give him
don't do the thing don't do the thing I literally just did.
Just give him a tier.
I just gave him a tier.
Oh well, rip that quest line.
Oh well. Which means I think I've got to go back to Ladyface and probably fight Bok then at that point.
No. You'll see. It's worse.
Oh no.
But yeah, the Bloodhound Step Ashore is handy for Miyazaki's obsession with poison swamps when you don't have torrent.
He does love swamps.
Because while you're Bloodhound stepping, you are not movement penaltied at all, so you zip through them much faster, and the buildup is slower because you're technically not touching the rot or the poison on stepping. So you only get an application at the very end and beginning of the startup of the move.
Right.
So definitely handy to have before you go exploring any areas. Just stick it on like a dagger or something, and it'll make your life way easier. Just some pro tips for where you're planning on going.
The golden domed building, that must be it over there. Okay, I think I know where I'm going now. Yep. And I gotta beat up the dooters. I don't even know what these guys are called, but they've got trumpets, and I'm just gonna call them the doot guys.
Sure. What domain is this one?
Whatchamacallit? Golden Troop.
Oh, okay.
It's the one that I die the most on, probably. Those dancing mecha are serious business.
Dancing mecha, you say?
So yeah. I will probably not get to a point if next week goes like this week where I'll be able to do the DLC right away. I'm expecting to be very, very busy next week. But I will be very close.
Alright.
So I will come with reports on the DLC for how that goes. He said the DLC's landmass. Now, Miyazaki always undersells it. He said it's as big as Limgrave and the Weeping Peninsula.
Okay, that's pretty big.
And that's him underselling it.
Who's in this room? Oh, it's one of those guys. Come here, you. Get him. All right. I should really not be faffing around here because Genshin should be just about patched. Let's see. Genshin is 98%. It's going.
Didn't you say that last time?
It's still going.
Good grief. Maybe this is peak time or something.
Oh.
It didn't take me that long. Or maybe your exchange is waterlogged.
Possibly that.
Possible the rats ate it.
It could be the rats. They eat everything else.
So yeah. That's really all I got for Elden Ring because I'm still making that up. So I'll keep keeping track of where you're at during the show, and we can play compare notes.
Yes.
For my replay in your first playthrough, I strongly recommend you just find a normal weapon.
I've got plenty there, or I could just go up to the top and get that legendary spear.
Yeah, I think that one requires quite a bit of faith to use.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what respeccing's for, I suppose.
Yeah.
I could just find something that scales with strength and use that.
You really can get away with just about, I get 16 faith, so I can use the fist weapon from Godric, because handy weapon to have if you're playing a traditional melee build, because some stuff damage. Swords ain't going to cut it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice, easy, decent one that also comes with fire packed in. But you can get away with 12, and you really don't need more than that on any character, because that's enough for all the damage resistance.
So even though I don't play Elden Ring, I still get Elden Ring videos coughed up on my timeline on my YouTube recommends for some reason. And every single thumbnail is from whoever is always a character with an enormous hammer in each hand. Like every single one. Is that like the most played build in the game or something?
I don't think so.
I haven't run into that. So maybe.
I don't think so.
I know early on I'd actually see a lot of player ghosts running around with a very similar build.
I mean, I don't check the post date on any of those video thumbnails.
Yeah,
But it's like every single live streamer uses the same weapon loadout, and it's always those two hammers.
it might be this game's giant dad equivalent. I've stopped keeping track of what's meta in Elden Ring. So I don't really know. When
I'm just doing what's fun.
Yeah, I just kind of do my own thing. If a weapon looks cool and I want to use it, get the stats for it and try it out, like the fist weapon that explodes in fire, or the standard katanas for more normal feeling combat.
Yeah. And this is a whole section of Lindell I haven't seen yet. Oh, great. More of the city to explore. So much.
Oh yeah, Lindell's flipping huge. Oh no,
It is massive.
Dirtman actually got his dirt on me and obscured my vision.
Ooh, treasure chest.
Are you being beaten up by treasure hoarders?
Well, beaten up's a relative term. He just threw dirt in my face. Still not sure what his plan is.
Sand?
That was as far as he thought through.
Oh, there's the seabed curse. Why is this guy's crotch bloody?
What?
You know what? I don't want to know.
What?
Everything to do. You're giving it to a guy called the Loathsome Dung Eater. What did you expect?
Kidney stones.
Ah, I see. All right.
Are you
I'll go hand that in, and
bullying
that will open up.
That's poor Seal do to you.
I need his drops. They're the skill drops for Florinda.
Bullets on a deal.
I've done your this guy's quest. Thought I'd done your quest. I guess not.
If you have not got to, no, you haven't finished these quests. I know where you're at in the game. You're nowhere near the end of these quests.
Now, my last playthrough, it actually progressed him from away from sitting around at the table and got in his armor. I just forget completely how I went about doing that. Rogier's bell, hand that in. Been carrying that around for way too long. Come here, Mr. Dung. Mr. Poopy Man.
When the trailer first was revealing a bunch of the key characters and the narrator was saying their voices and they go, the Loathsome Dung Eater, it became a meme immediately for obvious reasons.
Yes.
The loathsome dung eater. Well, it sounds pretty loathsome, I'll be honest.
He's all red and stanky and welty.
And loathsome.
Very loathsome.
I still like. Oh, what's up?
I was going to say, he's also unforgivably rude.
Oh yeah, he's a douchebag. He has a secret ending. If you beat him 5 of the Seabed curses, it's the worst ending possible. Even worse than the Frenzied Flame. Everybody is inflicted with curses.
So everybody's a dung eater.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And yeah, you basically turn the world into blasphemous if you follow his route.
That sounds
Without
bad.
Giant hats. Actually, there is a giant hat that will fit the bill. So yeah, there you go. All right. Anything else for Elden Ring and for your week, Ari?
Nope, that's about it.
What are these fruits for?
Okay, there it goes. Genshin is done.
Oh, it was a plan. Oh, there we go. Gotta do hydro reactions. Takes a while.
We're not making much progress.
I'll pull out the shuttlecock. That might make.
All right. Well, what you do?
Not much. Not
Not
much.
much.
I'm awful tired of hearing about the budget at work. it turns out the government operates on a July through June financial year. So any customers we have that are tied to the government often follow the same financial year, meaning that in June they have run fresh out of money. And
Lovely.
so they don't spend very much money with us, and June's a weak month for us generally. So
Oh, what?
yeah,
There's more
it's-
patching.
Oh, it's verifying the files.
No, this is the in-game downloading now.
Oh, that one's usually faster.
It's comparatively fast. I'm on poopy internet though, so it's going to take a couple of minutes.
But yeah,
Anywho.
so I'm spending all of my time worrying about the budget and the overtime and so on and so forth. There's not, in some sense, there's less work to do, but you worry about it more since it's become a larger proportion of what we've got. So yeah, I'm still attempting to maintain a 4-day week, and every time I come back to work, I regret having taken an extra long weekend because of all the things that have happened in my absence. However, if I don't, then it just causes a different kind of problem. Aristiel, I'm dying.
I was dying too. I'm running to a statue of the 7 to get health back. Hang on.
I'm just going to have to watch this thing very carefully and try and dodge everything.
Your numbers.
These things do a lot of damage, given half a chance.
Out of stamina.
You can use Yaimiko as an on-field damage dealer, however. All of my gear only buffs her when she's off-field. So she is basically, apart from the stats, she's naked.
I'm getting event spam. Oh no.
Indra doesn't interact with Cryo in any way, does it?
Nope.
I have no stam, I cannot dodge.
So yeah, I am finally in the game doing faffing about things
We'll invade your world as soon as we're not dying.
and use all my resin.
Oh,
Man, without a crystal farm, Navia certainly doesn't seem to do that much damage.
no, this is why I was so big on getting
Every time-
what you call it.
Every time I get sloppy and let Ningguang die, suddenly our kill time increases like 20-fold.
Yeah, Navia with no bullets is rough. With bullets,
Right, how do I?
stuff just explodes. With no bullets,
Gonna-
bad things happen.
There's that Cureless. But I'm going to let you guys join me here because it's going to be hilarious if it does what I hope it does.
Gonna try and drop us off a cliff.
Yes.
That's hardly polite. But yeah, so I haven't done a huge amount this week. So let's see, where was I? So Blue Archive has moved into the next phase of Decagrammaton, which, due to the weird way that you progress Decagrammaton, I'm still not really sure on what the story is, other than they go to a tundra zone for some reason, at which Amy all of a sudden feels like she's at a normal body temperature and so wants to go swimming. But
Nicey.
I'm not sure where we're going with that. I'm not really sure what they're doing with the Decragrammaton story. Like they sort of at the end of the last part they gave sort of like a false ending to it of sorts, in the sense that it seemed like, oh well, I guess we've resolved this plot line now and we've moved on to another sort of like machine god related plot line in chapter F and so on. But no, now we're back with Decragrammaton. It's still around. The prophets of Decragrammaton are still around. There's a huge amount of unexplained things about that story that they never really got into. And I don't think anybody really knows yet what's going on. Like, why exactly? Like, because it all seemed to me, it seems like the real mystery, as usual in Blue Archive, is halos, right? Because the prophets of Decragrammaton are machines, but they have halos. Servants of Decragrammaton don't have halos, and the animal people don't have halos, but they have the resilience that halos seem to confer. People who look like normal humans that don't have halos are easily perforated by bullets. So yeah, there's a lot of sort of bizarre world building things that nobody understands yet, and everybody's always hoping every time there's another chapter of Decragrammaton that they'll unveil some of those things, but it never seems to happen. You just get more mysteries, and considering there are supposed to be 10 of them and we've seen like 4 or 5 of them, they're going to be carrying on this plot line for a while. But yeah, so that's not really going anywhere. I haven't pulled on the spanner because I don't particularly want Amy, and I already have Himari. Aristeele, on the other hand, did pull for Amy.
I didn't pull for Amy.
Well, she certainly came with what you got.
Yes, I pulled for the penguins. Penguins are adorable. I posted the video like 30 times.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
did we go to the right portal? I think we did.
I don't know. I'm waiting for you to stop moving because I don't know where you're going.
We're just hopping around in circles.
Actually, the yeah,
So I should have waited until you stopped moving.
Yeah, it's this one.
Oh, okay. Do I don't have that one apparently. I thought I did. Okay, I guess I'm going for a scamper.
Yeah.
No. You can teleport here. It wouldn't be unlocked unless you have it. We're just standing on top of it. We get off of it, you can.
But yeah. What else? Star Rail is in sort of a beat week. I've not really done anything particularly new in it. I don't think. I'm being very inefficient with my time in Star Rail at the moment because I can't decide what I'm working on, because I have Kafka nearly maxed out in terms of traces, but actually maxing her out would be extremely expensive on the credits front, so I haven't done it yet. And I'm also sort of working on trying to raise Square Knife's traits, and I'm also working on raising Himiko's, and I'm also working on Harmony Trailblazer, and I'm also working on Gallagher, and I'm also working on any number of different characters, and therefore making very little progress on each because each day a different one seems like a better idea. So I'm proceeding in a very sort of aimless fashion. I don't have much Jade in the bank right now because I went ham on Fushuen, who is still proving to be a great investment because on basically in any normal farming stage, she makes your team immortal, so you don't have to do anything but spam attacks after that point. It's highly efficient in its own way. I spent a lot of resources building her up, so I mean, this is the way it should be, considering the amount that I put in. But yeah, it's I don't have a very clear goal right now because I don't know who I'm planning on working on next. I don't have enough Jade really. I don't really have enough Jade realistically to roll for Firefly, and Firefly is very clearly the break archetype, which, you know, I could build a break team. I've got Ryan May and I've got Harmony Trailblazer, and generally speaking though, you would want probably to go double DPS Firefly Boot Hill with that, or perhaps you could go Runmei, Gallagher for sustain because Gallagher scales off break as well, Firefly for damage, Harmony Trailblazer, and Runmei for support. You could do that. Double Harmony is always a bit of a risk in certain ways, but it's not like it doesn't work. It's just sort of hems you in. From what people are saying, Firefly's performance as a DPS unit is quite comparable to Acheron's, although it's more sort of burst window oriented. That sort of worries me because it seems like they've set a new watermark in terms of potential power creep. So yeah, I don't know what that's going to look like going forward. I feel a little bit bad for Jade because, well, she's competing with Firefly, and lots of people really love Firefly because of the story, whereas Jade hasn't had a chance to make an appearance yet, and is basically going to be trading off of having a whip and stiletto heels, which, given the proclivities of the Star Rail fan base, that might be a reasonably effective play given the circumstance.
It'll definitely get a few sales, that's for sure.
Don't screw it up.
Oh, I screwed it up.
You screwed it up.
I put my Hellbeast too close to another Hellbeast.
I don't think it helps. I think only
I don't think it do.
I think only Hellbeasts. There we go.
There we go. Nope.
They're still throwing radishes everywhere.
Go, Hellbeast, go! I could probably ascend actually.
I haven't yet. I'm still level 40.
Oh yeah. No, not quite. I need one more shard, which I think this boss drops.
Yes, it does. This is a good source of Dendro shards.
Which way is the exit? That way.
Don't walk out. You teleport out because you need to get far away for it to.
Oh, hang on. I'm getting tutorial that. Go away.
Or he'll try and tell you.
Talking about sub-layer teleportation points. Because I'm underground for the first time. So yeah, open the map underground for the first time.
Yeah, you have to get pretty far away from it. Respawn, so the Statue of the Seven you should be far.
Yeah, so I've still got a bunch of stuff to do this week in Star Rail. Like I haven't cleared the Memory of Chaos that's about to expire. I need to go get onto that. The new one is apparently people are whinging a lot about it because that HP totals are so high. I think that's actually them strongly hinting that you should be using Harmony Trailblazer to clear this one. However, I don't really have a set of characters set up for it because honestly, it's kind of built for Firefly and Boot Hill in a lot of ways because they're the best characters to do break with, and because it was not made abundantly clear at launch, although it has been clarified since. But as characters doing toughness breaking go, fire and physical are significantly superior to all of the others. And when it comes to damage output, you always want to break with fire or physical if break is what you're built around. And I don't really have a good setup for that. Like, when it comes to breaking heaps of trash, Himiko does the job quite well. So if there was a break-focused pure fiction, then that would work really well. But this isn't pure fiction, this is Memory of Chaos, so there's not going to be very many targets by comparison, which means that what you really want is single-target physical, single-target fire, and I don't really have great options for that. I haven't built Sushang, who is sort of like the free choice that you would use for a scenario like that. Although I do like Sushang, she's a bit dim, but she's a good-natured sort of character. I've been meaning to build her for a while so that I've got a physical damage dealer option, but there's never really been a compelling argument for it until recently.
Also, Val, you might want to teleport to where we're at to the boss.
Oh, is this the boss one that's close to the boss? I just clicked on a random one, so.
Yep. Yeah, that should have worked.
But I went to the wrong one again, or did I?
No, you did. You went to the right one. I went to the wrong
You went to the
one.
right one. And there's a shiny thing over there, but I'm not going to go touch it. I'll go touch it later.
But yeah, I've got a hankering to pull for Firefly because I endured the same story that everybody else did. However, she might be more of a wait to the rerun sort of character.
She will get a rerun.
Yeah, because there's so many characters coming up in the next arc, and I don't know what they might be. They might be ones that I really want for my team, depending on what type of archetype they would work into. Because I'm sort of like I'm in for a penny, in for a pound with Dot now, because of the amount of time I've put into building up Black Swan, and to a similar but slightly lesser extent Kafka. So I don't really want to chase after every new archetype that comes by. It's not really an efficient way to build your account unless you're planning to go full whale. That's about the only way that you could ever afford to.
I'm sure Mihoyo would like you to do that.
They would love you to do that.
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna. But yeah, it's they've announced like 6, 7 if you count March 7th Form 2, different characters that we just don't have any information on yet. So and they're all going to be Shansho related characters. So yeah, I'm not really sure. At least one of them is a Nihility type healer, which I'm really interested in. Even if it's an icky boy, I use Nihility teams a lot, so it would be really useful utility to have. I mean, the current standard sustain for a Nihility team is already Gallagher, who's an icky boy. So I don't know why that's always the choice when it comes to Nihility sustains. I mean, you can use other characters, but Gallagher applies debuffs to heal, so yeah, but nobody really knows what the Nihility healer. They make him sound like a Nihility healer in like the lore stuff. It's not really very clear exactly what that implies because they've given no details yet. The new March is going to be imaginary type, which is sort of interesting because it means like the entire Astral Express now has an imaginary version except for Himiko. Who is,
give it time.
Yeah.
Wait till swimsuit.
But there
you go.
The meme is that in order to get your powers, you have to get stabbed. The Astral Express.
Yeah.
Like the meme will build as you go along. Like, Fern is aware of how Preservation Trailblazer comes about, but
with stabbing.
Yes, but this has sort of become a meme because it's almost like it's a running trend in Star Rail at this point.
So who and why is March going to get stabbed?
Yeah, that's the question. But, I don't know. She seems pretty happy in all of the teaser material, so maybe she doesn't get stabbed. Maybe she gets off scot-free. Who knows? But she's talked about wanting to be a sword hero in the past.
You watch.
So
they'll mix it up. She'll get her powers, then she'll get stabbed.
Could be. We don't know anything about the story though. But
worked for Dante.
Yeah,
it did.
I was reminded recently. What was it? I can't remember exactly what it was. At any rate, oh yes, I was reminded by the Final Fantasy trailer about how their framing for the new expansion is basically, we get to go on a vacation where we don't have to worry about the fate of the world. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yes. That was pretty much the framing for the Penacony arc, and it was very, very much not a happy vacation. And it was not merely the framing. The writer with a straight face said that it was going to be a happy vacation chapter where nothing bad happens. Nobody believed him, of course. But
no, of course not.
They did frame the story that way, and Dawn Trail is
we
much
already
the
know
same
that
way.
We already know that the Final Fantasy one is like a happy vacation that puts you in the middle of a impending civil war.
Well, the point of succession battles is to avoid civil wars.
Yeah.
Except that
Yeah.
has never worked in the history of ever. That's all.
Yeah.
But
ever.
but yeah, it's the whatchamacallit. I keep forgetting the name of the event. But the big festival of sword fighters beating the crap out of each other that Xianxia holds is
Tournament
framed in a sort of a light-hearted kind of way, but the thing with tournament arcs is that they only really remain tournament arcs. They usually devolve into something else along the way.
Usually,
So,
yeah.
So yeah, there's not really much movement on that front. Everybody's champing at the bit for the new patch because the new patch is going to involve getting a free copy of Shuyi, and also the rumor is that they're doing another 4-star selector.
Ooh.
And there's not many choices this time, but I think if I recall correctly, you can choose. I think there's only 4 to choose from.
Vern, come here.
But shiny.
Gallagher.
Touching the shiny.
He's you know how important it is to chase Saleys.
I know.
You must chase the Stalays.
Open your Mora Rock.
Okay. Money Rock.
But
Chase the
the
Stalays.
choices I think are Hanya and Gallagher and the guy with the robot hand who I don't remember the name of. And it's another one as well. I can't remember who. It's like 4 or 5 choices I think this time. But it's still a free 4-star. People love free 4 stars.
I would say no to another Gepard, but that's probably not in there.
He's a 5-star.
Is he a 5-star? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't even look at the stars when I got him, so yeah.
But there's so much fanfare when you get a 5-star.
There is. And you see Pom Pom eat shit, which is always fun.
Can you ascend your Yao Yao to 50 now?
I should be able to send my Yao Yao. Yeah, at least the annoying mascot character in Star Rail stays out of the way. This one, it's right here. Look at it. Stupid emergency food.
No, if I can finally level my Yao Yao up. She's been waiting for
Nope.
months. What?
Nope, I didn't get the shard.
Oh, going again.
Go again.
More Dendro Hypostasis bully.
Yes. Yeah, bully.
But,
Oh yeah, Yao Yao's the one doing the bullying.
Yes.
Well, the Hellbeast is doing.
The Hellbeast is doing the bullying, not Yao.
Yao Yao's.
Yao's just along for the ride. Whee. No. That didn't work.
Yeah, Star Rail unfortunately seems like it's getting pushed further and further back on my list because, well, we have June.
Yeah, even the thought of how I'm going to cope with June is making me worried.
It's even I'm having to put Trails into Daybreak on hold. Also coming out in June.
There's so much good stuff actually coming up this month.
Yeah, Elden Ring DLC and Dawn Trail are the big ones, and then
yep,
Trails and Daybreak is coming out.
There's also the Steam sale, because of course there is.
There's a whole bunch of other crap too.
I'm definitely in the mode at present of actively participating in each new Star Rail chapter as it comes out. I don't know how I'm ever going to get caught up on Swarm Disaster and Golden Gears. Hopefully it will happen eventually, but I don't know when I'm going to find the time. Probably Genshin will get put on a rest once I get caught up with the main story. I don't really see myself going full retard until I clear all of the quests or anything like that, at least not in the short term. Because go on.
Oh, I was going to say that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, because I want to put all of my Hoyo eggs in one basket basically, and Star Rail is the one that I'm I'm just sort of more fond of. Like, I like the characters and designs better. It's
So
just
we
not
do
to say
have
that I don't.
ZZZ coming up soon too.
I'm not going to stick my toe in that. It's not because I've got anything against it, other than the fact that there are furries, but just I can't handle it. There's too much
Too
stuff.
much. Hell, it's
Yeah.
just too much Hoyo.
Yeah,
I've already relegated myself to simply watching the Honkai Third story on YouTube rather than playing it, because it's just there's too much game.
Yeah. Deploy Hell Beasts.
deployment.
You get your Lisa
Yeah.
out and zap them.
I mean, I could do that.
I mean, it's still enough to do it in one cycle, so
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it will
really
be
need
faster.
to, but
Yeah, because I do enjoy Genshin, and I've come to like the story more as I progress. But and I do have a certain affection for it, and it's easier to no brain than Star Rail, because most of the side activities in Star Rail require a certain amount of strategy. Yes, there isn't a derp about and wait for a chest to appear in the overworld and then kill a bunch of dudes to loot it. That's not a thing.
No.
Like the to drift in the direction of Genshin. One thing that I have found is very easy to no brain is just sort of swimming around the ocean in Fontaine.
yeah.
Like that you don't. I have no intention of mowing the lawn in a methodical fashion in a 3-dimensional area when I already have no sense of direction. Like that's too hard. But just sort of drifting about, seeing a thing and going to poke it is something that you can do quite profitably for hours in Fontaine.
I love the underwater stuff. I think they did a real good job with it. I love playing with all the animal buddies.
You know you've
I
done
think that
something right when people actually like your underwater area.
Well, I think that the advantage that they've got with the underwater area, I identified this pretty quickly, is they didn't try and make it the same as the rest of the game. Like they didn't. The problem with underwater areas in most games that have them is they try and make the underwater area the same as the rest of the world, except there's additional impediments to doing what you want to do. So it just becomes a pain, because you can do the same things you can do underwater on land, except that it's easier on land. So anytime you have to do it underwater, it just becomes worse. So there's no incentive for anybody to want to participate in underwater content, because it's the same content but worse. In the case of Genshin, they've just completely thrown the overworld mechanics out the window, and you play differently when you're underwater. You do different things, you engage in combat differently, the challenges are different, the exploration is different. Everything about it is different. It doesn't. You can use whichever character to play that you think is most aesthetically appealing at any given point in time.
You mean Mona, because her booty is right on screen the whole time. And is objectively the best character to play underwater, anytime you're aiming.
But it has the modesty bubble.
Not when you're aiming. Goes away.
Not when you're aiming, for some reason. For some reason. I don't understand the modesty bubble. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I get the feeling that was a mandate.
This is just too much cheesecake. Put a bubble there.
This is the sort of mandate that is definitely following the letter of the law and not the spirit. But yeah. Yeah, so where did I get up to last week? The last week I think I had done the whole.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I recall you did the whole.
The whole I felt was written very solidly, but written a lot. It needed an editor, I think. There was a lot of hole. A lot of hole in the hole.
But it's okay, because when all the girls want to do everything the smart way, you got your boy Aritaki Ito and Ushi. And they just man mode their way out of the hole.
You just follow the boogie and cow. It's fine.
The fact that Ushi is in all those cutscenes just having a little hoedown in the corner is just the best thing ever.
Yeah, I think the story does quite a good job of selling that Arataki Ito is in some ways a very untapped resource. Like it becomes obvious over the course of time that he is actually outrageously powerful compared to your average human being. Like he looks like a regular human being and he lives like a regular human being, more or less, except he's actually outrageously strong because they literally have him punch a hole in reality, so to speak, in the way that only like a supernatural being normally can, simply because of muscle spirit, basically.
Because he's
He went to the
Arataki
school of
Ito.
Heath. Yeah. So he definitely has the goof strength. But
I love you, boy Ito. So fun when they actually use him in the story.
But yeah, so moving on from that, I had another interlude to do before I could go back to the main plot. And this one was the next interlude was set in Sumeru, and so I had to do a bunch of stuff there, get that all set up, and then do that one. And this one was focused on what's his name? I see a little silhouette of a man.
Scaramouche.
Yes,
Yes.
it was Scaramouche. Who for some reason the text very rarely calls Scaramouche, which is a little bit mystifying to me. I'm not really sure what the localization rationale is there, because now he is referred to in the course of events variously as the Wanderer, or as the Balladeer, or as Scaramouche. He's referred to that variously as that in the text, but in the text he's almost always referred to as the Balladeer. Almost always. In the what I can hear in the vocal track, because my English subtitles match the English text, English voice track, not the Japanese one. The Japanese very obviously call him Scaramouche and Balladeer interchangeably over the course of the story, as opposed to Balladeer all the time and Scaramouche almost never. And I have no idea why that is. It seems very strange to me.
Do the voice actors just have a hard time pronouncing Scaramouche?
They have a hard time getting them not to say something about the Fandango afterwards.
Yeah, that might be it. They just start saying Scaramouche, you do the Fandango.
I guess I don't know how... I guess I don't know what affinity people have for that. I mean, it is an unspeakably catchy song. Like, I've only heard it a handful of times, but I can sing almost the entire thing by heart. It's that catchy.
It's like 6 minutes long as well.
Yeah, but everybody knows it.
But everybody knows
Everybody knows all or nearly all of the words to Bohemian Rhapsody. They might make a couple of mistakes or insert a couple of mondegreens, but everybody knows it.
Yes.
For some reason.
Yeah.
No, hadn't respawned yet.
Okay. How do we broach this without spoiling it? Did you get to the end of that interlude? I assume you did, since you moved.
Yes, I finished the interlude.
Okay. Without spoiling anything, give me a name.
Huh?
What name did you use?
Oh, I pondered it for a while and then used Ramiel because I thought it was appropriate, since it means Thunder of God.
Oh, okay.
I gave him a lore name.
I gave him an Ari name.
Oh, you called him Jeff?
Yes.
Literally?
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, you'd appreciate Star Control, by the way. There is a great alien entity named Jeff in that game.
I mean, it's reasonably appropriate. Like the arch villain of Ouroboros in Honkai 3rd is just a guy named Kevin.
I mean, yeah, So it's kind of in keeping with Hoyo, I suppose.
But he's not some like otherworldly entity or anything. He's just a guy called Kevin.
I very strongly considered Testicles.
I mean, then you'd have to actually do the rest of the game without giggling.
Testicles. Why?
One more shard.
Why testicles?
I have loads of Quelled Creepers, but I'm still only at 2 or 3 shards.
You can mush together the baby green shards, bigger shards.
Oh, can I?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, just go to an alchemy table.
I got to go back to Mondstadt for that. That means go back to Mondstadt. Blah.
Because I had put the Gladiator stuck in my head.
Oh. But why testicles?
Well, it seemed more appropriate than giving him Hercules.
I mean, I guess he was the prototype.
Have I actually unlocked the ability to do that yet?
Good. Talk the alchemy table.
I do not appear to have.
Make sure you're not talking to Tiamat. Talk to the table.
And he talked to the table
Can
while
you
we're
talk?
here.
I can talk to the table.
It's saying craft, so yeah, I can talk to the table, and I can craft a bunch of other stuff.
You do not see. You have to unlock the.
Hang on, where is it? I need. Was it turquoise fragment? No.
Is this difficult for you, Fern?
I think it might be because I haven't messed with the system yet.
I'll send you a screen cap of what mine looks like.
I was just doing that.
To make a Nagatus Emerald fragment, I need a Nagatus Crimson fragment or Agate fragment.
No, you're in the wrong menu.
No, you're in the wrong screen.
Okay, try a different one then.
Okay, the first tab.
First tab. If I scroll all the way down, yeah, they're locked.
It should be at the very top.
Here's the problem: Adventure rank 25.
What?
Outrageous!
Yep, I am halfway through 24.
Well,
so let's go do yaya things.
This is sort of unfair. We're going to be level 40 forever.
Yeah, I was so excited. She sent me a message via the Hellbeast. Like, I'm finally going to get to level 50. I'm so happy. No. Can we get him to 25 through random BS? Where have you not gone, Fern? Okay, I see where you haven't gone.
What boss does Yaya need anyway?
That one we were killing.
No.
That's a good question, actually.
Good question.
We need
to do this quest while I'm here. Get some primo gems.
The grain skill book, which is not up today, but whatever the trounce domain is might be available, but I don't know what the trounce domain is needed for Yaya.
Quelled Creeper. No, that's the level up material. She needs Jeff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The thing I named Jeff.
Oh, like the earlier Jeff.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a recurring boss.
Free Jeff.
You know, the thing is, if you didn't name everything Jeff, it might be easier to tell what you were talking about.
Yes.
Proto Jeff.
You wanted to found a country and name it Jeff.
Did.
Okay, so we can't do Jeff. That would be huge spoilers if we did Jeff.
Yes. We can.
Not sure we can even get there.
Okay, we can. Oh, you haven't explored anything down here. We can teleport to this point and go wander around.
All right, we can do that. I'm just gonna beat these slimes up when it eventually decides it's going to get beaten up, stupid slime.
Probably have to ascend the
And-
world level as well to get to 50.
Probably. That might be why it's not letting me do it.
Anyway,
You can
so
tell I do not farm Genshin very much.
yeah, I was surprised that they gave Jeff a essentially gave Jeff a interlude all his own, more or lessly. I mean, there was other lore in there, but they were pretty sparing with it, to be honest. I don't feel like I came out of there any wiser than I was when I went in.
Yeah, I think most of that was because they realized they didn't do enough with Jeff when they had him centralized as an antagonistic force. So they needed Jeff to have something. So they did that as kind of like a retroactive band-aid for the Inazuma problem. What it feels like to me. That's just me reading into it. I don't actually what happened.
Damn it! I just beat the slime in time for the food to go cold. Oh well. Anyway, coming down.
I think false fishing.
None of these fish are interested. I don't know what bait they're supposed to use anyway.
I don't remember the dates. I already forgot them all.
I hate the long fish because I can't tell when I'm going to scare them.
Oh, when you're gonna bop them on the head.
Yeah, because their hitbox appears to be way enormous.
Yeah, you bop a lot of fish on the head that way. Wonder, can multiple people fish in the same pond?
Give it a go.
These fish do not care about me. You don't need fish. Wait, all the fish just changed.
Oh, because it's transitioned from day to night, so all the daytime only.
Oh, I see. I haven't been able to get any of these fish to bite.
I'm
or
getting
anything.
I'm getting latency problems on the fish, so I don't know. The fish were like clipping through my bait.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm to help Fern. Oh no, I lie. I have just aggroed.
Okay, I'll play with these Hilla shells over here because they've got treasure. And Achilles. Hello, Achilles.
Just you once. Yeah, Vol, you were mentioning how Genshin's going to wind up on the back burner. It's kind of already there for me until the next story bit comes out, because basically I only play it on the weekends with you guys now. Because it's too much grind to keep up a Hoyo game if I'm not actively playing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I sort of decided that I was going to pick one, and it was going to be Star Rail because Star Rail required the least technical skill to play.
Yeah. That's kind of a mark against Z3, is because like I play Star Rail when I'm just lounging around not doing much. Z3 looks very style, very flashy.
You just leave the chest they were going behind.
I was grabbing treasures, other treasures. I just really want to run around, mash F, and get everything.
I don't really want to play a game that might require me to claw grip my controller.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be quite to that degree, but there's going to be a much more active play required.
Yeah, so here's the thing with claw gripping. It sounds really scary at first and really unintuitive, but what you'll find is in games that encourage it, you'll just kind of find yourself doing it. You won't have to way to put this. You'll just do it naturally, trying to hit the buttons, and you'll just kind of teach yourself claw gripping without ever meaning to. If a game really strongly incentivizes.
I wasn't really being specific in that way. What I meant was, I don't really find it that appealing to play a gacha where the technical proficiency is so influential on your performance. Like Genshin is about the furthest that I really want to go in that, because at some point there's a sort of a clash of sorts between the logic of gacha and the logic of technical proficiency in play, because that means that you're going to be, if you have because it's going to be in some ways competitive, right? Because there'll be clear times in that, then that's going to be important in some way, I expect, because that's the type of audience that they're directing it at. But you have like two very powerful axes of power when you have a highly competitive gacha based game, and that there's going to be both meta and technical proficiency, so you can end up having the skill ceiling raised on you twice, or the skill ceiling raised once and then the power ceiling raised again through the meta. Whereas in a game where you can simply learn the strategies and apply them, the question is all about, deck building essentially, as opposed to being focused entirely around it's focused firstly around skill and then around deck building, where you've got to try and accomplish two separate goals, one of which is going to be bracketed. Like, I really, really, really dislike the feeling of perfect play which isn't rewarded perfectly. I don't know if I'm explaining what I mean, but I feel like when you're doing something correctly, you should be appropriately rewarded. And doing something correctly and then not being rewarded because you didn't pull the right thing from the gacha bothers me a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
that would.
if I'm going to go to all of the effort of learning something that requires really high technical proficiency, I don't want to then be forbidden to reach the highest heights because of some bullshit reason involving luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
get you now.
this is my issue with jumping into ZZZ and why I'm not talking about it very much or being super hyped for it. Because it sounds like an action game would be right up my alley. But there we go. But what you call it? Basically, Puyo's gacha luck is just, or gacha setup is just terrible. And until we know what the rates of currency is going to be like in ZZZ, I'm hesitant to try to engage.
I feel like they're getting better about it, and they're probably going to end up to some extent dynamically adjusting their offering depending on what the player base is doing, because of what I said before, that you've got this sort of like bifurcation in power between meta and proficiency. And I don't know, like they need to satisfy a very picky player base in terms of, the technical skill required, and to some extent they're going to be able to observe what Wuthering Waves does and, adjust their tactic to fit. So I think that Wuthering Waves coming out is definitely something that is going to benefit them a great deal, because they'll be able to sort of see ahead of time what does it look like when you've got really high technical combat requirements in a gacha game, because apparently some of the fights at the high end of Wuthering Waves are just really, really hard. You need to be extremely good at using the mechanics of the game in order to pass them comfortably. But yeah, I don't know. I think that in order for ZZZ to be really successful, they're going to pick one of two options, and one of those is pandering, at which point they will lose the action game player base, and because they'll take the option to just make everything quote accessible unquote, or alternatively, they're going to have to find a unique formula which satisfies the requirements of a technically proficient fan base without snowing them in what will ostensibly be changing the rules on them constantly to avoid allowing their skills to carry forward in a meaningful way. Because they're going to have to somehow keep the characters engaging and interesting, and the natural course of events for a gacha game is that there's going to be power creep. That's just the way it is.
It's how it do, yes.
But they need to have that counterbalanced in such a way that it doesn't turn into well, it can really only be called bullshit because action game players hate bullshit.
Yes.
They, if you look at the very successful action games, like Capcom's #1 game, Devil May Cry 5, they have a whole lot of systems in place to you don't. Oh no, you definitely do. Gotta get
Yeah, usually you try and you get bounced out.
or Klee. Klee works.
Yeah, I'm getting Bennett.
Please.
I do not have Klee.
No,
no,
I have Klee.
You have Klee.
I didn't want to increase the average height, so
Oh, okay. In that case, yes, use the superior short stack.
that's what stack. Let's just
Bennett's
leave that
short
one
for
alone.
an entirely different way.
Do it. Should I tell him what short stack actually means?
Please don't.
No,
I think he'll be
please don't.
traumatized. He might get taken out of action for the rest of the
Blue Archive teaches you a whole lot of things you'd rather not know.
show.
Yeah, let's just leave things PG, please.
Yeah, short stack is not PG. In fact, it's not PG-13.
Yeah.
But yeah. So after that, I made a nascent start on the Fontaine storyline, and I'd have to say it's extremely engaging. They managed to get off to a really strong start, even stronger than what they did in Sumeru, and have so far, as I have seen, have been able to carry that through. There's only been a couple of hiccups in there. Like there's one particular part of the trial where you're forced to fail, and I think that it's a bad design decision when a game introduces a challenge and the very first time you're expected to carry it out, it forces you to fail at it.
Ah.
Like, no, that's something that you're supposed to save for like the third quarter. That's not something that you do in the first attempt.
Yeah.
You're just gonna leave his chest.
Yeah, bonus chest back here, friend.
Yeah, I'm just grabbing this one. Okay, now that one.
He just rocket up in the sky for you.
He just ran up on top of the chest, and the chest opened and pushed him up.
Okay.
He didn't fly into the sky.
Because on my screen, the lag made it so that he rocketed upwards when the chest opened.
That would be a great trick if I could actually see it.
But yeah, it's I really like the story. It's been quite engaging. They have sort of buried the lead a little bit in some ways. It's not very clear exactly what they want to do and where they're going yet, but in these early stages, I think that's perfectly reasonable. I don't really have much to say about it that is bad. They've managed to make various characters and they've introduced them with relatively strong identities and so on. I feel like Navi is a bit of a Mary Sue in places. Like she basically doesn't ever get anything wrong ever, and is extremely clingy all the time.
Yeah. They eventually well, I won't, anything I say will be a spoiler. But it's she'll never lose that streak of nice girl to her that can grate a little bit the whole way through. But they do at least do interesting things with the story arc, the story surrounding her.
Right, because it just seems like they have airdropped her in to be the axis of the story in the early stages, and there's not really any clear reason why you should care, other than, well, I mean, she's been having a bit of a rough time, and we might be able to do something to help that. It's like it doesn't really have any clear benefit. Like that was one of the few little rough spots in the story, is how you complete the first court case, and then you're like, okay, so that's over now. We've got a mission to do. We need to go off and do it. And then you just sort of a couple scenes later, you about face and are like totally preoccupied with what Navia wants now.
Yeah.
There's not any reason really given for why you were first willing to just coldly walk away and get along with your own objectives, and then all of a sudden your opinion is completely different. Oh no, Navia needs help. Let's go and help her. So you don't know her. You don't know anything about her.
She is pretty, and Paimon did get macarons from her.
It's true. She did deliver some macarons, but this is not really good writing. Like you are surprisingly cold early on in the story about pointing out that there's no merit for you in distracting yourself with somebody else's life story when you have a difficult to achieve objective, but if you strike while the iron's hot, you might actually be able to get it done, and all of a sudden we're just going to deprioritize it. It's not. It doesn't quite ring true, but the actual content of the story is quite solid and quite enjoyable. I like how it was put together. I like the second case's antagonist getting his comeuppance. Relatively poetically suitable, but a bit too nice for him, in my opinion. I think he should have suffered a bit more. But
yeah, how about that Archon? We need Klee.
Absolute girl failure. The Hydro Archon is Aru with blue hair. Like she knows what she's trying to be, and is giving it the old college try, and will absolutely not admit fault in any way, but is completely lost and clueless about how to do it all properly.
Fun.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they can explain that, and I have no hope that they will ever explain why female Archons are all so terrible at their jobs. Like, Zhongli's whole arc is that he was too good at his job and he felt like he needed to take a step back.
At least you can understand why Venti's bad at his job.
Venti is not bad at his job. Venti is the best Archon at his job. He did his job so well that he's able to spend all of his time now getting drunk, and yes. nobody cares one way or the other. It's like everything just works. It just works.
It just works.
Venti has somehow created a anarcho-capitalist economy where their currency and trade seems to operate on hope streams in the card game. I mean, their cavalry captain can't afford a horse, but
the key part of that is it does work somehow.
Somehow. It probably shouldn't, but it does. I need sucrose for this. Sucrose, you're too tall.
I choose to believe it was the fire that did that.
Ah. You know what? Yeah, let's go with that.
It definitely wasn't me pulling out Miku. That was hilarious. I suppose I could just turn it on when he gets there.
You can just cheat. It's fine. Nobody's here to judge. Oh.
You get the chest, or do I need to fix it?
No, I got the chest, but I just didn't get the rings on the way back.
Already in the character menu to pull somebody else out.
I experience very perplexing feelings when it comes to Furina. It's like, I can't decide if I want to throttle her or if I want to indulge her, because either is likely to be entertaining.
Why not both?
I like Furina, and just you wait till you thought female Archons were bad at their job right now. Just wait till the story keeps going.
How are they so bad at their jobs? Like, every single one of them seems to screw up their country in a major way.
It gets even worse.
Oh no.
But Furina's definitely absolute girl failure at the moment.
Is the Natalan Archon also a girl?
I can't remember. I don't know if they've announced it yet or not.
Because if she is, oh boy, that country's in trouble.
Yeah, the thing is that Natlan's supposed to be like a very warlike country, but everything that they've ever showed of it is more kumbaya. So I'm not really sure how that works. But
At least with Nahida, while it was Nahida's fault, it wasn't Nahida as we know her now's fault.
it's still Nahida's fault.
It's still very much so Nahida's the Nahida fault, but not the current Nahida fault because shenanigans.
On a side note, I'm actually stuck in quest dialogue. They're here talking about their radish stew, and you're just walking in said stew.
Ah, yes. Well,
hang on, I'll make it better for you.
Oh no, we're doomed. Oh, it exploded. Okay, what have you done?
we're ruining his immersion.
You are completely destroying this quest line. What are you doing?
Got like 3 baby dumpties hanging over the radishes.
I don't even know what this quest is. It's just so chaotic here.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Oh dear. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with the story, especially since they managed to keep everything pretty small time and lacking in cosmic significance so far. So I really want to see how they go with it. Because so far nothing makes sense really. Like the whole Fontanian nation seems to be an incoherent proposition at present. It's like I'm surprised that Nouvelette has not gone bald because he must be under a lot of stress.
Poor Nouvelette.
Are you sure he's not not wearing a wig?
Nouvelette is so socially special that he may not know he needs to go bald from the stress.
It could be.
He's a little Nouvelette.
He makes Zhongli seem worldly by comparison.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I love his straight man impression that he gives on all the scenes. Like, I really like Nouvelette's character. It's just unfortunate what they did to. He'd be like one of the only icky boys I'd consider rolling for if he wasn't so just blatantly busted. Because I really do like Nouvelette in the story.
Like I can sort of like there are a lot of close-ups of him, of his eyes with him with a blank facial expression, and it's like I wonder what's going on behind those. Is he just furiously thinking, "What the heck am I supposed to say now? What is it that you're supposed to say in a situation like this? What are you supposed to do?" Like he seems to just not know what the right thing is to say ever, and he'll just say something very, very safely generic, and usually still end up ticking somebody off.
Have you met up? The radishes just disappeared.
Yep, just finished that quest line. I have no idea what they were actually talking about because, I mean, those were Fontaine people and they were talking incredibly verbosely.
It didn't help that we were blowing it up and putting.
No, it did not. It made it very hard to read. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Yes.
You've ruined everything.
Wonderful. But you spoke a couple weeks ago about how you noticed with Arataki Ito's character story that they suddenly found what to do with all that gacha money.
Yeah.
Have you got to the cutscene with where Corinda and Nabia meet? They get to use that budget again.
Well, you mean where they're introduced to the plot for the first time in the same scene?
Yeah, well, the very obvious money.
They meet in a historical context.
Okay, so yeah, I'm in the plot. I thought that happened pretty early, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that does happen quite early.
Okay.
It's like that happens immediately after chapter 1.
My frame for when stuff happens in the story, because I went through it back to back, is a little off, even though I remember most. I don't remember the order of some of the beats.
Yeah, they're doing they've realized that they don't need to restrain themselves solely to talking heads to tell the story.
Yeah, it is quite fun. My running theory.
Clorinda seems to have a similar level of social aptitude to Nouvelette when outside of the ring.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you'll enjoy most of Fontaine's story. The next bit you're coming up on, I want you to get through it so that I can hear if you have a better experience than I did, because I really, really ruined it for myself.
So what is it that I'm trying to avoid again?
It will prompt you and say you can no longer do the side quest if you travel to the area that chapter 3 hit or whatever chapter number it is happens right now. You will be locked out of this really important side quest chain. I stopped and went and did the side quest chain, and that was a mistake.
Oh.
And I do not know which one came out first, but it feels like the main story was supposed to happen first. And so, if you ignore the side quest chain, I'm wondering how that'll
So is
go
this
for
just
you.
like? So this isn't actually it's not actually something that they've said because of plot. It's something that they've said just because of geographical organization on
Yeah,
that particular
that entire
phase or something.
yeah, that entire section of the map will be phased into this main story quest for this chapter until you're done with it. So it'll disable any side quests you have.
And then it just goes back to being what it was before.
Yeah, after it's over, you can totally go in and do the quest as normal. Apparently.
So are you saying that for you, primarily it caused a pacing problem?
Yeah, because the mechanics of how that place works are important, and the side quest will explain some of them to you, but it just won't explain others if you do the side quest first, and they are explained in the main story. And also, well, there's a whole lot of aspects of the gameplay there that just I'll explain more what it does after you've already gone through it. I think because of its nature, it operates very differently than the rest of the game. It also has the most bullshit puzzle in the basement you've ever. But just don't even try. Even with the guide, I was like, "What you talking about? You expect me to sit here for how? No, just do not do the puzzle in the basement."
I see.
I don't think anything is mandatory for story progression and relating to that puzzle. So yeah, just
skip it.
Just a warning. So yeah, I'm interested to see what you think of that if you just do the main story and ignore that side quest for now. That side quest is also incredibly lengthy and wordy. Like we're talking for you a whole 2 days of gameplay time at least, full gameplay time.
Ugh. Yeah, I've been trying to avoid picking up too many side quests with mixed success because some of them are quite obviously have been
on the road
disfigured by me walking by. Like the one that I did get caught up on, I got caught up on one by mistake. It was like a bunch of those hydro animals that Oceanid summons.
Oh, yeah, that one's a long one.
Yeah, I got dragged into that by mistake, and I was like, "How do I get out of here?" And every time I tried to get out of there, they would start talking again.
And after you think you're done, you're not done. That is...
I eventually I just logged off for the night because I was too tired to work out how to stop. So
no, their quest line is very involved and just keeps going. It will have you traveling all over Fontaine and coming back to them and completing other bits of their buddies. Like it chains into 3 other side quests, one of which is the massive one in the area you're going into. Like they all start separately, but all lead together and reconvene into more of what the water animals are doing. It's a mess with how long that thing is. It took me a week to do it.
They're also retarded.
I know.
Like every time they start to talk, I think to myself, please stop talking.
Trying to blow up the barrel.
I mean, you did.
I think Vol actually blew it up.
Well, I set fire to everything in the immediate vicinity, so.
All right. Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, so I'm making progress in the story. Once I get to the end of it, I'll probably see if there's any like really good side quest chains to do, and then I'll sort of like pseudo shelve it. I'll probably still dabble in it from time to time, but and maybe do some more character advancement, maybe the events, that sort of thing. But I'll put most of my focus back on Star Rail because that's where I'm trying to really secure my position so I can just do all of the story content at my leisure, more or less.
Oh, we're back in explored territory.
Yeah, I think I've done everything over this way.
South.
We should continue
But yeah,
south. Yes.
will simply not be able to maintain Genshin and participate in Dawn Trail. That's not a thing.
No, you won't.
No, I've already moved it to we can play it for like the occasional thing to do during the show, or something to just poke my face in occasionally. It's basically I'm waiting for main story to come out because I still have a lot of treasure chests I could go
Well,
find.
the thing is,
Fontaine,
the next chapter of main story is probably going to come out around the time of the Dawn Trail does.
Yeah, but it's last on the priority list because Genshin's not going anywhere, and the multiplayer component is already we don't have to be caught up on the story to play with each other.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably put a lot more focus on Genshin if it had more group directed content that was designed explicitly for that, because I enjoy the main thing that I enjoy about Genshin is playing with you and Fern, but it doesn't accommodate it as more than an afterthought. So I might as well play a game that is designed around single player, which is why I play Star Rail more, because it's not. I don't have to worry about I could put this off and just do it when I've got somebody around to help me. It's like, oh no, this challenge is designed explicitly for me to overcome it by myself, and there's no more efficient option that involves waiting until somebody else comes online.
Yeah. Eventually there will be a Shuttlecock rerun banner or a Zhongli rerun banner, and your power level will skyrocket to where you don't need people, but you don't have to hurry. You can just kind of hang around and play.
I'm not really. I can do most things except for Spiral Abyss already, and I'm not really that concerned about Spiral Abyss. Like, I know that there's Prima Gems in there, but I'm not going to be able to max star it or anything. Like, that's something for people who've got teams comprised entirely of Archons and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
I cannot max star the last. I don't even think the one either.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
just
so
don't have time for Genshin, unfortunately.
I don't really know how I'm going to choose to approach Dawn Trail because of my lack of hype for it. Because I'm as it currently stands, I'm way more hyped for 2.3 in Star Rail than I am for Dawn Trail. And I mean, I don't think that that's actually a knock on Dawn Trail. I think that that's just an inevitability that's associated with its position as the first chapter in a new story.
Yeah. Like, Endwalker was in a lot of ways kind of disappointing, but it did wrap out the original story.
Well, the main story of Endwalker was fine. I mean, it had
main story was fine.
You can nitpick it, but the main story did its job, and I enjoyed going through the main story.
And it's got some very effective set pieces in there as well. Like, very effective.
Yes.
In some cases, more effective than some of the best stuff that they've done elsewhere. The issue is not with that, though. The issue is with their design decisions focused around player retention. Most of those were quite poor.
Yeah, that and at tilt.
Yeah, I think that might be more of a. I think that might be a more of a character archetype that is more Japanese than anything else.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I'm not really sure why they thought that was compelling, but I don't think that it's compelling to most people in the West. But it is what it is, and ultimately that was it's a small part of my consideration, and they did not really structure that story in such a way that I need to care about it ever again, at least not in the short term.
It's done and it's run. It's done. Story's finished. Okay, we move on.
I will play through Dawn Trail because I've invested in so many hours in Final Fantasy. I kind of want to see where they're going to take it. But and I'm not going to be in a super hurry at launch to get rocking and rolling with it. But I'll be going. It's going to be coming out on a bad week. But yeah, the
it's going to be a Clown Fiesta at launch anyway.
Yeah,
Server's
yeah.
going to go down. Nobody's going to be playing on launch day
they
because this is
claim
just how it goes.
yeah they claim they've got it shored up. I don't believe them. No,
Even if they do, though, you're going to be following the Zerg around, and I'd rather not do that.
Well, it's based on the producer's letter. It sounds like they're trying to ameliorate that by having options to disperse people around Quest NPCs.
That'd be nice.
yeah they've included like an option where you can turn off nearby players as they're near a quest coming in on.
I need fire.
I'm getting there.
Meanwhile, I'm going to hide in this stump.
Yeah, the other thing with Dawn Trail and the hype engine, and why specifically I'm not hyped for this. Number one, they're really using. This is more of a universal one, I think, than my other one. They're really using the female Rothgar models. They just made a lot in the new promotional material, and I just don't care about the furry girls.
No, I don't like them. I strictly think that they're bad. Like, I don't think that you should do main Hrothgar characters. I know that's offensive to a lot of people who really like Hrothgar, but I think you just shouldn't have them be main characters. End of story. And the simple reason for that is they have no facial expressions.
Yeah.
There's just a whole dimension of storytelling that they don't have access to.
Yeah, the graphic overhaul does improve it, going by the benchmark anyway. But yeah, that's.
But I mean, like,
That's
if
always
you
been
look
an
at the in-engine trailer that they just released for Dawn Trail, they give so much screen time to the female Hrothgar character that is going to be accompanying the Scions, and her expression is just blank the entire time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's a cat face. Are you just going to ignore this Geoculus here, Fern?
I should actually come get the Geoculus, yes.
Like, that's the whole reason that pinwheel is there.
I was
to get
playing the
Geoculus
pinwheel.
immediately above it.
Yeah, but yeah. So we'll see, but there we go.
Yeah,
Shall we go over here?
That's reason number one. Is that female Hrothgar is all over the marketing, like it's their biggest central feature that they're bringing, and it just I don't care.
Yeah, the Furies just leave me cold. Like at most, I am neutral on them. At worst, I actively think it's a bad idea to have them around because they attract cancerous people who do and say cancerous things, usually in a Speedo.
Yeah.
Or 2B
Just had
pants.
to take that extra final mile, didn't you?
Old 2B pants.
But yeah, like for the most part, I kind of appreciate the more subdued facial expressions because some of the other characters, for me anyway, always kind of they lean a little bit towards Gary's more territory in some places. Not like in the Hildebrand's quest, he is firmly in Gary's mod territory, but they do tend to be a bit too exaggerated in some places.
I don't think that the Hrothgar have subdued facial expressions. I think they have no facial expressions.
They have nullified facial expressions in some cases, yes.
Like you simply, when you set those two things in the same scene, like I have no problem with exaggerated facial expressions as long as everybody has them, because that's just theatrical expression. That's how it's done in theatre. Like when you've got this one character who's completely blank faced while everybody else is doing surprise Pikachu face, it just looks like that character is a bit part of no consequence.
Yeah, or a bit riding the short button. But
how do we get up to that?
The other shoe with Dawn Trail getting Dawn Trail hype is they, because of the nature of their marketing and playing things so close to the chest, they just have not shown anything that's a good hook for going on vacation in the new world. Like, yeah. there's no bait on the hook.
Yeah, it's a nice hook, but there's nothing on it.
I had sort of assumed that the story was going to do that.
No. Like yeah. as far as we know, there's some kind of succession crisis on this island somewhere. But that's not good enough by itself. You're already telling me that you're setting this up with character writing first and foremost. And if you do that again after you just failed with 0, I'm worried.
Yeah,
I
hopefully
mean,
Zero
a
was
lot
only
of
meant to be a short-term character anyway, so hopefully they do put a bit more effort into it.
well, the thing with Zero is that her major problem was lack of expression,
Hat
and
tilt is not an expression.
and this is the exact same problem that Hrothgar characters have, is that they just don't communicate well the way the rest of the cast does. And the thing is that the character that they've chosen for the female Hrothgar is an incredibly energetic and bombastic one. It's just that her face is incapable of communicating. So there's just going to be this constant disconnect between the script and the character, and I think that's a really bad decision. Maybe they've found ways where it will work well, and this just the stuff that they've shown in the media is particularly bad. But
Well, yeah,
yeah,
the
I'm
stuff that
not.
was shown in the media was from a build from months ago, so there is that.
Yeah, but they're also
Whether or
supposed
not,
to be showcasing. That's the point.
yeah, that's the problem. So
Yeah.
whether or not they've actually changed anything on that front or not, we'll have to wait and see. But I suspect they haven't.
They need to do something to get the hype train rolling. The area itself, like, okay, it's the new world and you can do anything there, but tease me a bit more about what's actually there to get me interested. They have just played it so close to the chest that we don't know what's there at all.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit more teasing, please.
Just anything to get the hype train going. I think they've just failed spectacularly at that so far. Like, there's value to holding your cards close to the chest when you have an established story like they did the last few. And I know this is common for
Yeah,
Square
what
Enix.
they need to be doing now is overcoming that activation energy barrier to engage people with a new story.
Yeah, this is your concepts are all new. You don't have to worry as hard about spoilers when everything will be so out of context because it's all brand new that we're not going to know where you're really going with it if you go a bit deeper. And they've just failed spectacularly. Basically, I'm playing this because of prior investment in terms of raw playtime right now, and hoping that the exploration zone that comes out in 6 and the other stuff around the expansion and the story they write is enough to keep me pulled in after I already start. But I don't. They have not done themselves any favors with their marketing, basically. At least for this, I don't think. Nothing here has got me super excited, and the fact that they're decided to do encounter design reworks first before class design after they totally flubbed it in Walker by most people's estimation, compared to Shadowbringers anyway, really makes it hard for those of us that don't do Savage Raiding to engage with the gameplay side of the updates. Because
yeah, well, I think that this is a continuation of their same era that they've been making several expansions running now, and that they have a completely distorted idea of what comprises the fan base. They think that the fan base is all people who are either at an Animal Crossing level of engagement or at a Savage Raider level of engagement with no middle ground. When in the reality, the people who fund your game are the people in that middle ground.
you know, the people that go to Baja on the weekends with their friends and will stop by just to have something to do with their hands, to just do some grinding. Like, that's the people that are paying your bills, and we ain't being fed. We haven't been fed for the past 2.5 years. We're relying on old content that's been nerfed, or Eureka, if we hate ourselves.
I can't help you, Fern. I'm a Catalyst user who uses fire damage. I'm completely stuck.
I've been just flying into this totem over here. Where are you guys at?
Up the top, fighting a fire wizard.
Oh, y'all way up there.
It's a fire abyss mage with a shield, and I'm using Clen. We're stuck in combat, so I can't change character.
Oh,
Yeah, I got Sucrose and Yao, so
I'm coming.
I'm not a whole lot better.
I'm not coming very. Oh, y'all way up there. Well, Fern, I got some news for you. The shuttlecock doesn't climb very fast.
She can take photos of everything and just destroy worlds, but she can't climb.
Yep. I'm coming. You're gonna dilute this guy.
I am going to delete this guy.
That's a bad idea. Okay, I got him. So I'm coming down the cliff.
I got the thing.
But yeah, I don't have any. I have surprisingly little feeling toward a Dawn Trail. Like I have faith that their writing is pretty decent. It will engage me in some respects, but it's not. I'm not like champing at the bit to see what happens. And the way Ari's talking suggests to me that the post story patch for 6.x doesn't manage to accomplish it either.
No.
As I know, I haven't played it yet, but isn't that patch basically just saying, "Oh, okay, here's the next part of the story." That's basically it.
It is an hour of, oh, by the way, the female Rothgar models are now in the game ahead of the patch.
Yeah,
Ahead
which
of-
really
ahead
doesn't
of-
mean a whole lot.
And oh, go beat up a toucan.
A toucan.
Toucan.
That's the quest. I mean, there's female Rothgar comes, tells you, oh, this Dawn Trail expansion is coming out, and we're gonna be doing stuff in the new world. Oh, let's go beat up a toucan. That's it.
Oh, yeah, I'm marketing.
That's it. That's the whole patch. It's an hour long, maybe, if you are actively playing the whole time.
It's like
Yeah.
by contrast, every time I see a new piece of Star Rail media, I get hype and I get unbelievably frustrated that I can't overexcitedly link it to anybody because it's riddled with spoilers.
Yeah, don't spoil, so please.
I will get. Fern's probably going to get there before I will, because it just keeps getting pushed further and further down the list. So much stuff coming out.
There's so much stuff on the backlog too.
Yeah, I've just stopped taking things onto my backlog. I don't buy games anymore.
That's one way to solve the problem.
I bought the new Elden Ring DLC and pre-ordered Dawn Trail, and that's
Pre-ordered Dawn Trail. That's all, and it's only because I'm deeply invested in Final Fantasy. Like I'll play it, and I'm like reasonably confident I can say that I'll enjoy it, at least in some measure, because I just don't think they're incompetent enough to completely screw it up. Like even if it's only at the level of all the story writing is like 0 tier, it will probably still pay for itself relative to the costs of other games these days.
Yeah. There's 2 fire ones.
I can't switch them on because it's not me.
Oh, fine. It's going to do
You
that.
have to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
It won't let
We
us do
can't
puzzles.
interact with puzzles, so.
All right.
This one's going to be fun. I don't remember this puzzle at all here.
Oh, okay. Different puzzle again, is it?
You can get the totems first.
I'll do the totems first.
Yeah, I was waiting by these things, thinking y'all were coming this direction while y'all were talking initially. But yeah,
I think we were, and then we got distracted by a puzzle.
Yeah, the late June, early July is going to be a rough time management proposition, to be sure.
Oh, yes.
Hey, I switched one on, did I?
Yeah, you did.
yeah, I think you can back with Torch.
Oh, hang
I
on.
don't know what order you're supposed to use, which one switches off which one, or...
Oh boy, yeah, this is
It's an order one.
Oh,
Or is it time?
New mail.
Okay, we all got that.
Venti's birthday, I guess.
That one, that one. That one? No. That's one. That didn't work.
Yeah, I really don't know how to quite express my feelings for Dawn Trail, because I'm sort of like, I'm excited for it without really being excited for it at all.
Yeah.
I really want to see what's going to happen. What's the new classes going to be like? What are we going to do? Is it going to feel cool having my new abilities on my warrior or whatever? Are they going to have given any substantive upgrades to the visuals of the scholar spells? The answer is no.
No.
But like I still want to experience it. Although the thing that I'm looking forward to the least, I think, is probably when the cold, damp feeling sets in that they really aren't going to change any of my character mechanics until 8.0, are they?
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
I'll come back to this puzzle later because I think I got to look it up.
That's a thing that I'm really seriously frustrated by. I think is that whole character thing and the way that they've completely underrated the importance of character mechanics.
Yeah, I really, while it may be easier for them as developers to fix the encounters first, if the encounters are an issue, for the vast majority of the player base, it would have been a much, much better idea to just suck it up and fix the classes first. Because
Yeah.
most of us are not going to be Savage Raiding. Like, if I decided to commit to Savage Raiding, it would eat every bit of my free time. Because most of my free time is on the weekends when we play together. And I don't want to give that to an MMO right now.
Hey, I solved one.
Oh, you solved it?
I don't know that I actually solved it, but a precious chest appeared.
That's close enough.
I get the feeling there's probably more than one chest because I only lit up 3 torches. So,
well, they were all resetting after three activations. May just be 3 specific ones you need to turn on to finish those.
The other option was going to be do this, I guess. No, that doesn't work. Damn. Oh, never mind. This is treasure.
Yeah, you opened it and they all.
Yeah, that was it.
Find the 3 specific ones.
It was the 3 specific ones that are clearly marked as the 3 specific ones that I lit up.
Oh, there was markings?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see now. There's a triangle on the ground.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, usually you can find the answer to weird puzzles like that in the environment. Sumeru has a lot of puzzles like that where you just gotta open your eyes and look around the puzzle. It'll become on.
Yeah, I'm really, really hoping to see something creative when it comes to class design, and I really, really hope that the player base will find a way to communicate to the developers the my goodness, I feel like the range on these bombs is getting longer just so that I miss the to the developers that we've had these non-mechanics for too long. You need to give the classes back something to do that makes them what they are, as opposed to it just being a matter of graphics.
I don't know what you guys are doing, but it ain't working. Is what the player base needs to communicate.
Yeah, they've sort of, I mean, if translations of things can be relied upon, and I'm not really sure whether or not they can, it seems like they are quite open about having been aiming directly at homogenization and thinking that it would be a good thing, which seems incoherent given the amount of times that they've said that they take cues from World of Warcraft on a lot of mechanical issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know why they would go ahead and try doing the homogenization thing, but they did. Now all the classes are homogenized and everybody's ticked off at class design.
Yeah, and they've really backed themselves into a corner with at least 2 classes per. They just have so dang many classes. The only way that is a reasonable developer without their brain falling out of their head, keep all that balanced and still keep them all feeling unique is, well, you can't keep them all. You almost have to.
Yeah. How are they going to keep up with it? Because they can't do a beat expansion where they introduce a new race instead either.
Yeah, they're going to.
There's not going to be any more races.
Because the number of classes, I think they back themselves hard into the corner of, do you want balance or do you want uniqueness? You want the classes to feel like individual classes with unique mechanics. And the fact of the matter is, if you diversify their playstyles enough in every single raid tier, for every single encounter, some class will be better than the other ones, and that's just going to be the way of things. And I think it's okay to just accept that. But the developers don't.
As long as there's a situation where every class gets to shine.
Well, I think that the problem is that they're afraid of a situation where somebody who's like a mono job player just like is completely excluded from participation for some reason.
Mm.
I think that they're concerned about that eventuality, but the thing is that I think that eventuality is so outrageously fringe, like that it doesn't matter. I think that they are overly conscious about the opinions of the raiding player base, as we've mentioned many times before. And one of these opinions is, I don't want us to all have to level a new job to compete in the race to being one of the first clears or whatever. I don't, but again, I think that this is an outrageously fringe situation because I think most of them probably have all their jobs maxed.
Yeah,
And
especially
if they keep making new accounts because they keep getting banned for cheating, well, that's not my problem.
yeah, especially after this past expansion where they had no relic to grind.
There just wasn't any
Well,
grind whatsoever.
I mean, that was done for them. That was done for them so that they would have that sort of entry level weapon always available, regardless of how anybody else might have felt about it. Oh boy.
Oh, hello.
I'm hopscotching. Nahida not known for her damage output. Okay, when it has fire to help her.
That was a big healer chill that just turned up.
A Lower Chill. They come in various flavors. The
Whee!
lightning ones are the worst
said
in my
whee.
opinion.
It's
I think that most of their problems, as always, come from, and I feel like one of those casuals from back in the day in World of Warcraft when I say these things, but I think that their problems simply come from listening to the raiding elitists.
Yeah, it's when it comes, I feel like it's a slightly different animal with Final Fantasy, because how do I describe this? Because one character can be every job, I don't feel like class imbalance is as big a deal as it would be in World of Warcraft.
Yeah. I mean, I could understand wanting a situation, or wanting to avoid a situation where every DPS in your group has to all be like dancer or whatever. But
yeah, you don't want that.
But I don't think that it's very likely. Like again, it's a outrageously narrow fringe case where you manage to screw up your encounter design that badly that only one class is viable as the DPS, or one class is so far superior that player skill doesn't come into it anymore. But you know, player skill should be able to overwhelm most variations in classes, except in one circumstance, and that's where you've homogenized the classes so much that they're all the same. In which case, player skill is so transferable that nobody's really particularly good at any particular job because you can't be. They all have the same skill set. So yeah, it's I feel like they've created a problem where there wasn't one. There have been issues in the past. Like I played Paladin during Heavensward, and I encountered that scenario where nobody wanted a Paladin during Heavensward because Paladins were tougher than warriors, and Paladins did less DPS than warriors, and every single boss was a DPS race in the end. Are you guys just going to leave this chest here, huh? Okay.
Fern was all the way over here, and he's riding the struggle bus with this healing churl healing the Abyss Mage. I was going to save him.
Yeah.
There's a chest back where Vault.
Okay. More chests.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like their design is very good in a lot of ways. Like even if I don't have a particular affinity for much of what they have shown in these previews, aesthetically speaking, nevertheless, there's still a lot of craft has gone into it, and I think they look really nice. I think that the engine updates that they've managed to do to the graphics engine are extraordinarily impressive, given the constraints that you've got to work with on a project like that. I think they've done an extremely good job. There's lots about their development team that is extremely laudable, but their core systems decisions are just inscrutable.
Yeah.
Why would you think that class design is unimportant to the extent that you can literally shelve it for a whole expansion?
Yeah, I get that fixing encounter design would probably make it easier to decide where you want to go with the classes after you've solidified a better encounter design. Because from what you got now, but the simple fact of the matter is, most of your player base is fed up with your current design decisions when it comes to the classes, and most of them are not going to get to see the Fern's in a cutscene.
I'm blowing up a thing.
You're gonna fall off.
He might be low enough. He might be okay.
No, he's too low.
No, it didn't fall off. Ooh, a door. It's not open. Okay, fine.
You need to.
You've got to do that to every single pillar in the area.
I think I have enough rocks to do that.
Probably don't.
You need to have collected all of the Geoculuses in the region.
Then I do not have enough rocks.
Yeah, there's also a precious big boy chest here.
Okay. Hang on, I'm chasing a sailor.
But yeah, it's most of your player base is going to be engaging with the classes and less with your mechanics. Like, it's all well and good that you recognize the current encounter design ain't super hot and you want to fix it, but the fixing that is only going to engage maybe 3% of your player base.
Yeah, I think that they've sort of probably taken the wrong lesson from PvP, in that PvP has been a balancing nightmare. They just screw it up every time without fail.
Yep.
But the reality is that hasn't really been a make or break for anybody's participation in PvP outside of that narrow scenario where everybody summons Bahamut or whatever.
Yeah, the Dark Knight problem will exist in PvP, but nobody really... I get frustrated with it while I'm actively doing PvP.
And then you queue again.
But yeah, but then I can just queue again.
And I think that this is the sort of delusion that they're under, is that this is going to be infinitely more complex due to the additional. Oh, I still can't do anything. My goodness, this is why I always play Geo. The scenario in PvP is not going to be as complex as the scenario that you will unleash in PvE, where you have so many more spells and you still want them to be balanced, etc., etc. Oh no, it's going to be no. People don't actually care that much. Nearly none of your player base cares about that.
Yeah, nobody.
They want to have fun. They don't want to stare at the meters that are illegal to use anyway.
Nobody cares that their parse is going to be 3% lower because they're playing, Ninja this tier.
Well, there are, but those people suck.
Yeah, but those people are such a minority in your player base because of your add-on policy. You honestly don't have to.
Anyway, we should move on.
Yeah, this is still on my week, but I'm happy to stop my week here.
Right. Did we check the email? Because I didn't.
I did not. Professionalism.
We do not have an email.
Oh, hello. What's that? Random event?
It's
Random event.
Will award you precisely nothing.
Ah, let's not bother then.
No, I'll just take a picture of it. It'll be okay. They were already on fire, so they just blew up.
Ah.
Okay, to be fair, there was 500 Mora for it.
Okay, well, 500 more is better than a kick in the face, I suppose.
You got 10,000 from that rock. I told you to.
Yes.
At least.
There we go. That rock at least had a treasure chest. All right. We should very quickly zoom through the news. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I really want to talk about. We got the unless you want to take a break first.
Might actually break.
I kind of need the bathroom.
All right, well, let's do that first.
Enjoy your serene view of this lake while we take a break. Hopefully. You'll be right back.
forget to turn the stream back on.
It's on. We got it this time. Hello.
Yes. Yeah, the Hellbeast ruins everything.
Actually, I think that offers. Oh, not the.
Dumpty dumpty boom.
So yeah.
Try.
We're back from the break and us talking about how the rest of you people live in far too cold areas of the world because summer's on the reg on a cool day or around 100 degrees Fahrenheit for us. That is just.
I have actually got a question, country related question of sorts. Is I seem to be totally unable to perceive references to stories about things like the City of Gold they mention in Dawn Trail. Like that just has there's no cultural node to attach to in New Zealand culture because we don't have undiscovered legend stories in New Zealand because New Zealand's a tiny island. There's no way for anything to be missing or lost.
It's not even really got much purchase in North America. It's in South America. It's part of their mythology. Pretty hard. Because that's where
They've got loads of lost civilizations down there.
That's where the heart of it started as a legend. But yeah, it's a legitimate part of their culture. A bunch of so it may have purchase with like Mexicans, but in America, it's like we know about it because South America is our neighbor. But
I can sort of see it on the continent as well because they were the ones that sent explorers.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah. It's not part of our culture. Our culture is more the weird engines in the teepee wigwams that smoke hookah all day and go on spirit journeys with peyote and remember zebras.
The last bit makes no sense. What?
I remember a zebra. It's from The Grind.
Don't do drugs, kids.
But it worked out pretty well for Liu, except for the part where he wound up in Orgrimmar.
I mean, yeah, aside from that. Yeah. Like, Australia doesn't have that sort of story, really. Is there
it's just that, like, I remember when Disney did their adaptation of the El Dorado story.
Is that Disney or DreamWorks? I thought it was DreamWorks.
It could be one or the other. I don't know.
Yeah,
they
kind of merged in at that age.
Yeah, it's far back enough in time that I don't really remember. But the thing is, I had never even heard of El Dorado.
Yeah, I had heard of it in extreme passing, but not.
I heard of it actually fairly young because of a CD-ROM game I used to have called Inca, where you were a person who was made of gold and you'd fly around in a spaceship, but everything was Aztec themed, and the game made absolutely no sense whatsoever. It's fantastic.
I see.
It was very, very weird.
But yeah, it seems to me like the vibe that Dawn Trail's going for is a sort of explore Mesoamerica, it's full of secrets type of thing.
Maybe if you're native to Spain, that'll hold some purchase with you.
Chest is shiny.
Is it just me, or did the chests drop sharply in value after Liyue?
Yeah, this seems like minimal effort for a precious chest.
Yeah, just beat up a bunch of hill shells.
Like, I remember to get precious chests and like because I'd already explored most of Liyue when I came back, and like to get precious chests like anywhere after this point, you got to do some work. Even in Dragonspine, you got to do quite a bit of work. Well, except for that one that spawns like 5 chests for killing 1 Ruin Guard.
Okay. There are exceptions then. Alright, we should quickly skim through the news then. Of which, yeah, kind of a mixed bag. Like, we got the last of the big presses. Ubisoft did theirs, but we don't give a two tosses about Ubisoft at this point.
Did they talk about Just Dance again?
Probably. I didn't watch it because just Ubisoft. Just no at this point.
Perhaps they advertised their absolute abortion of a Assassin's Creed game.
Yes, historical revisionism at its finest.
That's not even revisionism at this point. That's just fiction.
It's
Well-
thing is, nobody would have a problem with it if it wasn't so like disgustingly self-indulgent. Like there is no scenario that anybody can accept in historical fiction where some big burly black guy dresses up in samurai garb he's not entitled to and then wanders down the street and everybody bows to him as he goes by.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
That's not a thing. I'm sorry.
Just call it fiction. It's a lot easier to swallow that way.
Need I remind
It's
you?
not even fiction. That's like fantasy fiction at that point.
Yeah, you just have completely divorced from reality. Like the Japanese,
Most famously xenophobic race in the modern world.
they called
Yes.
like food originally, and they still have this term around today. I think it's like they call it Southern barbarian food if it comes from the West.
Oh, there's explosions. Hello, explosions.
It's made of fire. I can't help.
Oh, that's okay. There are things made of Dendra over here that I can't help with.
Made of fire, I can blow it up. Lisa is very good at that. Also blowing herself up, which is less good.
Need a Klee.
All right, so let's quickly zoom through the Microsoft one because I found it very flat. Although a lot of people were saying that this is the best of the lot, so it kind of says a whole lot about the rest of the shows, really, doesn't it? All right, first we got is Doom: The Dark Ages, which is, let's just face it, Doom decided they want to play Heretic for a while.
I mean, I liked Heretics, so I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, so it's Doom guy with a broadsword and a fur coat over the Doomslayer suit. He's not really making a whole lot of effort to blend in, really.
But the
To,
thing is that you know that
advance
this is
the
just this is just the first step in them running a good thing straight into the ground.
Yeah.
Oh my, yes.
Eternal was already moving in a bit of a weird direction. 2016 was great, but they've clearly got the Ubisoft bug. It's only a matter of time before it's a yearly franchise.
Yeah, really, I hope they don't go that route, because that's a quick way to destroy any franchise. I can't think of a single yearly franchise that has not been run into the ground at this point.
Yeah. Like Yakuza, they release a new game or spin-off like every year or every other year at most. But
Frankly, I think that their days are numbered.
yeah,
They're going to fall for it eventually.
They also cheated by reusing the same map over and over again.
yeah, they Kamurocho is to make it so the level design team don't need to be paid money every time. Only when they do an engine update.
Yeah, just change it around a little bit, mate. Update the shops to mark the passage of time, and there you go.
They also have
where is
really stepped in it with the last release. Even people that don't play the English dub, I think, feel burned from Yakuza now after Young Yeah.
We're breaking the law.
You're not like you're more in tune than good old Young Yeah was.
It's not hard.
Yeah. All right, so that's that. We got State of Decay. We don't care about State of Decay because zombies. The big controversial one, Dragon Age Veilguard. Oh, good God.
Well,
So-
I view this as a preview of what the next Mass Effect is going to look like.
Oh, please no. Actually, Mass Effect needs all the help it can get at this point, so maybe that would be an improvement after Andromeda. But
Why don't people learn their lesson? Like, if a game is terrible, you don't then go and buy the next one in the series to see if it gets better. You punish them by not spending money on their shit.
yes, do not buy it. Not unless they've done something to actually correct the problem. But it's EA, so no, they haven't.
Yeah, it looks grotesque. It looks like the only way I can really describe it is similarly self-indulgent. Like this is not a game
There's that.
that is made like, and it seems to me like it seems like a term that is too weak. But it also seems to me like it's the only way to describe a lot of these things because it is clear that the the people who made it for themselves.
Mm.
Yeah.
They did not make it for an audience. They have no interest in the audience. Audience doesn't matter to them.
In the case of things like the new Assassin's Creed, it feels like the term ideologically masturbatory seems appropriate or something similar.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you get in there?
I don't know. Maybe you're supposed to splash damage it or something. Can't remember.
Might have to geo it.
You can't break this door, can you? Nope.
No. Do we burn the whole
Maybe
building
Tra-
down?
Maybe Traveler can just make the boulder inside through the window. I don't
I'll
know.
try it. Hang on. As soon as I let go of the wall, there we go.
Oh, is
But
that another
yeah,
precious chest? Sure is.
Ignoring, even you get past all of that stuff, there is a lot. It's like Dragon Age has always had an issue with tone and keeping consistent between games, but it's always
I
been
would
dark
say-
fantasy.
It's always had an issue with cringe and how it's always cringe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, even from the very first
that's
one.
been the cringe has been consistent. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, Geo Traveler did it.
Did you have to destroy the entire landscape to accomplish that?
Yes.
Well, look at what you've done to the ambience of this cottage.
Are you saying it was not an option? I like my cottages
I'm
with
s-
glowing orange crystals. And okay, now Geo Traveler goes back into the box where he belongs. Bye, Traveler. Get out. Go. Shoot. We don't want you. So yeah, but yeah, this one it looks like a hero shooter. It looks like it even plays like a hero shooter actually, because it's not even an RPG at this point. It's hack and slash.
That trailer was so cringe.
The trailer was just dreadful.
I feel like everybody who makes trailers has just spent like the last, 15 years of their life imbibing Marvel movies as though they were holy scripture.
Ugh.
They probably,
Especially-
and I'm not kidding, if they're in the trailer making biz, if they went to take any kind of class or talk to any kind of people that have success in the industry, they probably are literally being taught to emulate that because of
here's
how
a solution.
successful the early Marvel movies were.
But the thing is that everybody has observed in real time Marvel crashing their success directly into the ground.
Oh yeah,
I do not
yeah.
think the Californiaites will be able to put two and two together on that.
yeah, and that's the big thing to improve a lot of this stuff is get out of California. It'll be cheaper for a start, but yeah, it's just cringe. It's bad. The game looks bad, and it is rightfully getting criticized and ratioed. I actually got curious, so I turned on the ad on just after they launched the trailer, so I could see what the dislike ratio was. 5-1.
You don't keep that thing on permanently?
I hadn't really had a reason to turn it on before.
It is the most. YouTube is useless without that tool because you have no idea if you're just searching for something generic if you're actually getting the version that has helpful information or not.
Yeah,
I don't get information from YouTube, so
I typically don't. Anything I actually need proper information from, I'll usually go right to the source. I am old school internet. There are more than 5 websites.
Like if
if I watch a video, an informational video on YouTube, I will have some third-party method of vetting it that does not involve YouTube in any way. Because like sourcing truth from YouTube is like sourcing truth from a wiki. Like you just
Or
don't.
worse, Reddit.
wikis
Oh,
are
well,
going to
Reddit
Yeah.
is not a place that you should go for any information except where to get Troon Shine.
Yeah, I posted a screenshot of me giving up looking up we were trying to find the producer live letter summary for the latest one, and usually you can get that on the Reddit. I had to scroll too far this time, and it is poop dick month.
That's
And-
a good name for it.
That is how they do. That is how they do.
So I
Is it just me, or are companies being less screechy about it this year?
I think that's burgeoning out a little bit less because they're a bit gun shy about the whole Bud Light thing.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to be ground zero for that. The target has not. The target used to be to see who could virtue signal the hardest to get the most kudos. The target this time is to see who can avoid getting denounced while doing the absolute minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, they've maybe put a rainbow on their icon and left it at that.
A lot of them didn't even do that because now everybody knows that they don't do it in Saudi Arabia. Like the Arab speaking account for any given big company doesn't participate, and so everybody can see it's insincere. And since they are more happy to tick off the LGBT police than they are to tick off the Arabs, they just don't do it at all now.
I do not have a Hydra character.
Don't I have Barbara?
I do not
I
have
thought
Barbara.
everybody has Barbara.
Nope, no Barbara.
You don't have Barbara. Do you have Xingqiu? Or you don't have Hydra Traveler. You don't have Mona. You don't have Candace.
Nope, and nope.
Crazy.
How do you
I
not
have
have
zero Hydra characters.
I thought you got Barbara as part of the main story.
So did I.
I have not really done the main story. That's the problem.
I can't do it for you. Oh, you haven't done this? It's like very early on in Mondstadt. So you must have really not done it.
I finished the Mondstadt story though, and I didn't get Barbara.
I'm positive that we got her.
Unless it's one of the many side quests there.
It could be, but I'm pretty sure they give it to you specifically for situations like this.
Yeah, they make sure that you've got one of every whatchamacallit, every element. That's why everybody got Collei.
Yeah.
Yep.
That you can activate the dangerous. So
we got guys over here. Also treasure. Big treasure.
How did you even avoid getting Barbara?
I don't know. I have not the foggiest idea.
So on that particular surface, Mona's dash was funny.
All right, next game, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. There you go. It's the Snake Eater remake. I mean, people still care about Metal Gear Solid. I guess they haven't ruined everything too badly yet. At least as far as I know, they haven't. There we go.
Yeah, you get Barbara for defeating Storm Terror.
Okay.
Maybe you have to talk to Catherine or claim it from one of the event rewards.
Maybe. I might go back to Mondstadt after this and have a look.
Is it one of those ones that you've got to claim from the events overview window?
Let's see.
Just go in there and scroll down and see if there's any free characters available to claim.
Let's see. Test run. Don't want test runs.
Yeah, I think.
Clorinda's trial. That's Collei. Clear 4, Chamber 3. Have not done that yet. So but that's Collei there. Zhangling. Oh, there you go. Yeah, claim Barbara. Done. I now have a moist character.
Barbara is the character I regret investing in the least. Also, you will need mushrooms.
I do have a handy supply of mushrooms.
There's literally... Barbara is the most evergreen character this game has ever had.
Yeah, they don't make characters that way no more.
There is no other character that can constantly allow you to apply Hydro while in melee range and heal you.
Ah.
Okay, to be fair, you will get frozen a lot.
Yeah. The random ice shooty Helichurl will get you a lot.
And Ari is sort of biased because she's an idol with a bow on her chest who has blonde hair, etc. But she is definitely useful.
Yeah,
not a useless idol.
Yeah, not useless at all.
All right, I'm just going to quickly skim over these. We got, I'm going to go talk about Flintlock because I don't care. Perfect Dark reboot still in the works.
Oh my goodness, the Man-Jaw.
The Man-Jaw.
Oh man,
why does Joanna Dark have a Man-Jaw now? Why is that a thing?
I
don't know.
I distinctly remember doing co-op with my very, very illegal Mexican friend I met on Xbox Live. who was
Play the specification.
because this dude was something else. And
I see.
his sister came in the room while we were playing co-op the Perfect Dark Zero, the Xbox 360 reboot. And in the most broken English I've ever heard in my life, she goes, "Oh my gosh, her nails are so pretty," because you could play as the girls, so you could see their fingernails. And now she has a man jaw. It hurts so much.
Because every character has to have a man jaw.
Because apparently, yes. All right, next game, one I actually care about. Age of Mythology Retold. It still looks like Age of Mythology.
I didn't like it. I have friends who think Age of Mythology is just the shit. Like, their favorite RTS ever.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I just find it fun. That's it. It's fun and it's a little bit stupid. Actually, it's a lot stupid. But, yeah, it's enjoyable because of that.
But it's just this is still playing at we don't have any creative ability whatsoever, so we're just going to redo something that we already did.
Yes.
We are too scared to put out a new IP or do anything unique ourselves, or we don't know how to.
Yes, the game I'm most excited about from your lineup is a game I only want to really buy because the original game doesn't play nice with Windows 10.
How come nobody ever remade Warwind?
Nobody really knew Warwind existed. I loved Warwind.
I know Warwind existed.
Yeah. You also had that same CD.
Everybody had that CD. What are you talking about?
It was such a good CD, though, that one. I wore it out. It was such a good CD.
Yeah, so did I. Like, you could see all the way through it by the end.
Yeah, Warwind, Deathdrome, You Don't Know Jack, the classic.
Yeah, Deathdrome was great. I spent ages playing Deathdrome.
Such a good game. And that was only the shareware, but not even the shareware, it was demo.
It was just one level. It was one level. It was the demo disc everybody had.
At least over in the Anzacs. I don't know about if it went overseas or not. Where did that thing go? I lost it in all the splashing.
The version that I have, the first of several versions of that demo disc that I had, since there were several slight variations, depending which magazine it was attached to. The one that I got first was from the PC Zone magazine, which is a UK mag.
Yep.
So it was definitely at least in the UK.
I forget what my version mine was.
I also had a similar one, a PC Power Play one from Australia.
That may have been the one I had, because it had Hold On To Your Nuts on there as well. It was a game about squirrels. Well, squeezels, sorry. Squeezels.
This was not a demo disc I played, so I'm out of the loop on.
You seriously missed out.
I had a lot of demo discs.
This is from about 90. This is about 95, 96.
Yeah.
So it's in the time frame where it might have wound up in the demo disc collections that accrued at my house, but it was not one that I played or had.
Yeah, so many good games on that one. Anyway, there's talk about Diablo 4. Don't care. Fable.
Really? Really, Molyneux?
You still owe me.
Face is at least semi-symmetrical now.
He owes me trees.
People are like aggressively gaslighting over this. They say, "Oh, see, look, the female character's not as ugly as all you guys said." Well, they've changed it.
They've changed it. They have made her look human now.
Now she doesn't look like the product of 3 generations of inbreeding. She looks like a human being, if only barely.
Yes, but I mean, I'll give credit that like a lot of people in the Fable universe are potatoes. Well, but usually the protagonist hasn't been.
There wasn't there a Seth joke about everybody being British and their teeth are all terrible.
Yes. Oh, hang on. Secret tunnel? Secret tunnel! So, yeah, I mean, yeah, she looks like a Fable character now. I guess. Fight Studio, Life is Strange, Indiana Jones. I mean, at least Indiana Jones hasn't been
Can't they
pushed
just
out.
let him rest in the grave?
Yeah, it's
Let the poor man die.
Not only is it more than overdue to let him rest, I'm not sure that Indiana Jones as a concept actually has much purchase with modern audiences that
Yeah.
they're so hell bent on courting. Like this is definitely something of the 80s 90s kid generation.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was at the tail end of Indiana Jones growing up in the 90s, and after that, like I totally fell out of pop culture.
Yeah, he disappeared for a while, then came back and made Crystal Skull.
Yeah, like his
I never saw that. As far as I'm concerned, there are 3 movies.
yeah.
There
like,
are only 3 movies. Crystal Skull was bad.
it
Dial
doesn't
of Destiny is abominable.
it doesn't help that after his break, his return was abominable.
Yeah, it was dreadful.
I'm
And in
pretty
that
sure
time,
that
you had Nathan Drake pop up and basically kind of fill that role anyway.
It doesn't like this is not a Devil May Cry 5 situation where it got put on ice and then they brought it back to uproarious applause because they knocked it out of the park. No. This was
No.
they stepped up to bat again and got hit in the face by the ball.
yeah, I think that there's sort of like there's a generational gap of sorts here. Like when I became aware of Indiana Jones as a small child. I was born in '86, and as a small child, and it was recorded from syndicated television on a VHS tape. That was
As-
my
As
Indiana
all
Jones
the best
experience.
movies were.
So of course you've got to fast forward through the ads, etc.
Yes. Because that was a thing we had to do.
I think I watched
Oh
one-
my god, we're old.
Yeah, I think the first time I watched it was on a television channel. I didn't watch a VHS of it.
Why is this one glowy?
I don't actually remember what you do with these.
I think there's a quest for him or something.
Hellbeast, sort it out. You
Uh,
failed me,
I-
Hellbeast.
You
Anyway.
may not be able to do anything with it right now. I don't know.
Yeah, if you actually want to watch a good modern Indiana Jones movie, go watch the Uncharted movie.
Well, even then, I like
Well,
the
I think that the old ones hold up nicely. Like, there's nothing wrong with them.
They do.
Yeah.
They very much do.
and it's a shame they've really killed Indiana Jones because I like the Indiana Jones aesthetic. You know, the whip and pistol. You know, adventuring
Yeah, but
archaeologist type.
this is definitely something that doesn't have any cultural purchase today.
Yeah,
Because, like, your average Zoomer doesn't understand what archaeology is for because they're taught that history is about bad people and that, you know, everything you can find out that you need, what you need to know about the world from TikTok. So why would you need archaeologists?
that
Yeah.
belongs in a museum is means that's just property to be defaced by random hooking of paint while you glue
Well,
yourself to it.
Yeah, I mean, because anything that's put in a museum was done by white colonizers, stealing it from Kangs.
All right.
It's like
Dude, it-
the only things that are only traces of a lot of civilizations still exist in like the London History Museum because those civilizations destroyed all of that stuff,
Whether intentionally or not,
usually intentionally if they became a Muslim country.
I'll give this game credit. Like the trailer they presented, it shows Indiana Jones being Indiana Jones. He's out there. He's punching Nazis. He's actual Nazis.
Yeah, but the thing
And
is that wasn't really what Indiana Jones was about. Like the Nazis were a useful stand-in when you needed an antagonist. Any old
Oh yeah, they were a
antagonist
very
would do.
convenient one,
And-
especially during those days.
Yeah, and everybody knew that Hitler had a bit of a yen for the occult at times. Although he actually had a great deal of disdain for some of the people in his administration who are a lot keener than he was on the occult.
Yes.
But it's more about that sort of the it's almost sort of like a perpetuation of the Wild West aesthetic, where there's like
In a lot of
this sort of unknown area that you can explore, and that there is adventure to be had, and so on and so forth. Like
Yeah.
adventure as a concept sort of doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. But I'm
Chest
actually
over here,
fully
friend.
expecting this. Oh, chest? What chest? What chest? Yeah, this game, I'm honestly expecting everything in the trailer to be almost the entirety of Indy's actual screen time.
Like the what you know what you're going to get is going to be in the modern era. It's going to be like Indy doing Marvel superhero wisecracking the entire time.
Or something like that, yes.
Yeah,
because the thing about Indiana Jones is even though he was sort of like you know, James Bond in a leather jacket sort of character in certain respects, he had convictions as well as aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Like he believed in what he was doing. He believed in the importance of preserving posterity.
That
and things
belongs
like
in a
that.
museum.
Need to help you. Oh,
Oh, you need help? I left.
oh, we spawned a chest.
Yeah, no,
Ah.
you need to stay standing on it so the food can get it.
Okay, how do I get back over there from here? Because I went off after another chest. I'm going to get that chest first.
Because we're stuck
So,
until
yeah,
we get here, by the way. Can't move.
Oh, no.
We are two very short waits.
Put my hobbies on it.
Does Guoba work as well?
Good question.
That's it.
For science. Okay, if I glide across there, and then over there, and then climb up that cliff over there, that should get me up there. All right. Next game, Stalker 2. I'm not sure if this is actually a new game or a remake.
I missed. I missed with Guoba.
Yeah, nothing really to say about Stalker because it's missed me entirely and it doesn't work on modern computers.
So Guoba has no weight. Oh, hold on. Oh no, I was standing on it long.
Oh.
No
weight for Guoba.
Hellbeast has weight, but Guoba doesn't have weight.
Hellbeast, however, hops at wonky speeds, and sometimes you gotta help him.
Yes,
and he also
because he doesn't actually have weight while he's hopped.
Well, he has weight while he's hopped. He's just not on the ground.
Yeah. What else we got? The all digital consoles, which they think people actually want to buy. Gears of War exists, and that's about it. That's it.
I'll be honest, I didn't know Gears of War was still a thing.
Apparently it is. It is still meatheads doing meathead things, at least. All right. Chest is over there. Whee. All right. So that was the Microsoft one. Very underwhelming. And yet people are insisting this one was the best of the lot.
Well, it's being compared to Sony.
It is being compared to Sony and to Ubisoft. One of which is a war crime.
I mean, they're both pretty cancerous organizations. Like, I really do think that this whole AAA publisher thing has reached its sort of terminal point at this point.
It's
like the
very
only one that
slowly
can,
tipping over.
The only one that seems to be able to perpetuate itself in the current environment is Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's largely because their thing was a relatively safe one, and they just decided to take the I don't care neither opinion in every debacle.
Yep.
And do more Mario, do more Zelda. Like as soon as you end up with TransLink and Girl Boss Zelda in the same game, you're going to start to have trouble. So it may just be, and that's not impossible that it will happen, depending on whether or not the culture war gets won by which side before it makes it to corporate Japan. But
corporate Japan tends to be a decade behind everyone else, at least.
Yeah. So if the momentum changes before it makes its way to corporate Japan, they might avoid it. But otherwise, they're just on a longer time scale, and they're going to end up making all the same mistakes again, because that appears to be the dumb thing.
Yeah. It is sneaking in there with localizations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the localizers are subversive. Like, everybody knows that now. There shouldn't be anybody left who doesn't realize it. Even the Blue Archive localizers are subversive, but every time they subvert something, the very special Blue Archive fandom kicks up a huge fuss, and the original developer intervenes and changes it back to the way it was.
Oh, good.
This has happened actually repeatedly now. It happens over and over again, and the tourists are really mauling over it. Because there was the most recent one was it was about the new cat girl, what's her name? I can't remember offhand. There are so many, so many
Like
characters in
that
that story. But Kikyo, she had a comment about like, because they're all supposed to be slightly flirty comments because that's the type of game it is ultimately. There's a comment about her wanting the player character to sit near her so she could feel his warmth, sort of like very sort of quietly flirty type of thing. And this was the fact that that was the reason why she wanted the player character to sit near her was just totally omitted. Like they just didn't say.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
this, because of the type of the type of person that will go to war for Blue Archive. No, this is not on, like, because Kiko's a popular waifu character, like a really popular waifu character, and her sort of affectionate comment in the lobby has just been removed, just because.
Yeah.
And so player base basically kicked up a huge fuss, and Nixon intervened and forced them to change the localization.
Oh, this area.
now-
Fern, this area
So
is
now it's
hell.
It is very vertically hell, yes.
Hope you don't get commissions here. Like, please, Genshin, for the love of Gucci, this is why I don't set this place as my commission location.
I've done all the commissions here. That's why this is not my commission location.
Oh. So we can cheat. Who wants to cheat?
I don't know, man. This is too hard, man.
Actually, can you guys start these challenges?
Depends on what
No,
you use to activate it.
We can't.
One of the
interact with
pedestals.
things.
Yeah, if
So,
it,
no,
if it
you
was
guys
a
can't.
pinwheel or something, maybe, but not the pedestals.
Not that one.
Can't
Yeah,
activate
we
it.
can
Okay.
activate. We can activate silent events like the balloons and the pinwheels and stuff, but we can't do like explicit pedestals
Okay.
and that sort of thing. Anything which requires an interact command rather than a sort of like an organic interaction, we can't do.
And the
Just stop cheating, for example.
yeah, and the towers for some reason, those are special.
I think because those are classified sort of as an interact rather than a natural environmental.
Are you stuck?
No, I'm zooming.
Oh, I see you stuck in the bridge.
Okay.
Yep, there you go. You just teleported.
Wee. Whoa.
You will miss Aculus here, by the way, Fern.
Okay, it's not this one up here, is it?
No. It's just it could be any of them.
Oh.
After you're done with your Culus collection, you will inevitably be missing like 5 or 6 Culuses, and I guarantee one of them's in here.
Whoops.
Because if you're searching from the ground or from the top, your y-axis will affect whether or not the Culus shows up on your minimap. So when you're recanvassing to see what you missed, you inevitably will miss a Culus.
Alright, so I'll just grab what I can while I see him. There is one, which I expect is down there.
There's a chest
Yep.
down here.
There it is.
A chest.
Chest. Alright, yeah. That was it. That's the whole E3 cluster done, and I'm glad it's over now.
Well, we still have the Nintendo Direct coming up in a few weeks, don't we? Or a week or two?
Does Nintendo Direct really count anymore?
Okay. The Nintendo Direct exists because regardless of what they show at it or what they don't show at it, it's going to be hilarious. Because
Yes.
the Silk Song community is on Suicide Watch.
Oh,
They're
yes.
always on Suicide Watch.
More so than normal, they've been rioting.
Yeah,
They
well,
were
because the thing is
hoping-
that they're reaching the sort of the end of their tether at this point.
They're running out of copium, is what they're running out of.
But like I have accepted that game is probably vaporware, and if it comes out great, probably not. Something probably happened. But
Well, you
Yeah.
haven't, if it does come out, then you just get to be pleasantly surprised instead of if it doesn't come out, you just get to be disappointed.
Yes.
yeah, if you're invested in it, that's a lot of disappointment and hype you wasted and burned yourself up for. And most people that are still posted in the Silk Song Reddit and stuff ain't reached that level of zen yet. And it's hilarious occasionally poking my head in there and seeing these people just totally lose their marbles. And if it doesn't come out this Nintendo Direct, they're going to absolutely just start committing Silk Doku.
Why would it come? If it hasn't been announced yet, it's not going to be. Because if it was going to be announced, it would have been one of the headliners on the Jeff Keighley show.
It was doubly funny because Jason Schreier came out and said that he was fairly confident they would hear something at this E3 season about Silk Song, and then came back later and said, "Oh no, I don't think so." Right before the show started.
Oh yeah, well done, Jason.
So
That guy is such a freaking like the embodiment of yellow journalism in the video game space. Like it's just all ladder climbing bullcrap. Like he's not a culture warrior to the same extent as some of them, but everything with him is about. Basically, he's the Jeff Keighley of video games journalism. Like he's just interested in building heaps of connections.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this would be a standing place, and it's not, and I've got no stamina.
I wasn't hopping quite as much as you were. I'm gonna keep going. I might be able to make it.
Yeah. Oh well, at least yellow journalism's a step up from what we're getting in the video game space these days.
Thank goodness you have safety bloomers, Nahida.
Lee has safety bloomers too. I think they've got the same. I think they shop at the same store for safety bloomers. but yeah, I don't know. Like, is there really any reason to expect much from a Nintendo Direct? Like, aren't they just going to announce a new Zelda, a new Mario, and a new Pokemon?
Well,
we know that they're not going to be announcing the next console yet. They've already said that they're not announcing that yet.
Yeah.
So definitely they're going to announce a new Zelda, a new Mario, and a new Pokemon.
Basically, yeah, it's going to be the holding pattern. We might
the
get
question
maybe...
is whether it's a mainline entry or a gimmick entry.
Yeah, it'll be a gimmick entry for Pokemon because we got not Legends Arceus, Legends Xerneas coming up.
So is it going to be a gimmick on the level of a not mainline game or a gimmick on the level of like Pokemon Sleep?
No, not mainline game. It's going to be another Legends game, which means probably another tech demo.
Yeah, and then you got.
Well, so long as it moves the genre forward, I guess you can't complain too much.
Well, we thought Legends Arceus would do that, but no, they learned all the wrong lessons from that.
Oh, was there actually a point to climbing up here? I was just climbing a wall.
I don't know. I was hoping there's something up here.
There is.
I was climbing because Aristeal was climbing.
I just saw a big wall. Climbing it. This game does that. This game does that to you. But no, the other reason the Silksong fans are in craze mode right now is because after Jason Schreier got them all hyped up, is Nintendo Direct is where one of the first Silksong trailers was revealed. They're hoping again that this time for sure.
They're on the hopium.
Oh, they're huffing it hard.
They are huffing hard. Yeah, likely we'll get like Legends Xerneas. We'll get maybe some off mainline Zelda thing. Definitely something Mario, probably something Mario Sport related. If we're lucky, a remake of Xenoblade Chronicles X, and by remake I mean port, and that'll be about it. Because yeah, the Switch is reaching the end of its life cycle, and it's kind of starting to wind down a bit.
And for me, it was only ever a Monster Hunter device.
Yeah, that'll be the other thing.
We'll probably...
I got it to play a few games, like back before Bayonetta 3 was released. It was going to be Switch exclusive, so I'm like, oh okay, I'll get it to have it for that. And the Monhun game's coming out on it, and what else was there? Oh, the new SMT game was going to be Switch exclusive, and now Bayonetta is a trash franchise now. Monster Hunter is going multi-platform, and even SMT, the re-release of 5 with the full version of the game, is now on PC.
Bernie just came out this week, yeah.
Fern.
No.
What?
Ran right by the teleport point.
Why do you always ignore teleporters? These are literally the most important things to touch in the game. I
didn't even notice the thing.
We were standing here hopping around, and you start to see it slowly drip down the hill.
I wasn't watching what you were doing. I was looking at the next treasure.
Okay, now we can chase the Sele.
I'm gonna chase the Keyless first.
Fern has
and then come down to the Sele.
Or premature fever.
The only thing that is more important to follow than a Sele to get it off the map is a teleport point.
That's part of the reason why I don't play Genshin, is because I just cannot go in one direction.
You can't see.
Also that.
Your eyes don't work.
Unless it's treasure. Waypoints are not treasure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh,
the only other thing of note this week is the press tour for Monster Hunter, where they unveiled a. Well, they didn't unveil. They just talked about a whole bunch of stuff.
Ultimately, Monster Hunter's so much more about the feel, though. Like when you start to play a Monster Hunter, you know it's a Monster Hunter game. It just feels different from all of its competitors. That was why I dropped that free to play one so fast. Was because it just didn't feel right. It felt wrong. It felt really wrong.
It felt really wrong.
And
the fact that it was an epic cash mill as well didn't help.
Well, I didn't even perceive that.
Yeah, it was once you got into it.
It was just that it was wrong. It felt wrong. It didn't feel like I was hunting a monster. It felt like I was interacting with a video game. Like that was a failure at what it attempted to do in that sense. I feel like there's only so much that you can really draw from Monster Hunter. I don't feel like speculation means very much in Monster Hunter. I know there's lots of people who like to speculate about monsters, but it feels a lot more fruitless to me than it does in other games and other long-running games. Like when you're speculating about what's going to happen next in an MMO, that's substantive in some way and has meaning because of
this thing, Fern.
the character belongs to you in a more meaningful way in some sense. Whereas in every Monster Hunter game, you roll up a new Monster Hunter and you hope you can find a weapon that you like. And you do that based on feel.
Yeah.
You don't do it based on anything that's announced. It's like, no, this feels right. This feels like I can kill a monster with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing I say about most action games, where you just they can advertise it all they want. The thing to keep in mind with them is it's all going to depend on game. Mark the.
There's one. The main takeaways that I got from it is that the game is going to be balanced closer to world.
That's a good
which
start.
I'm really happy for.
I really, really want this to be the case. But I mean, wasn't that sort of inevitably going to be the case in a certain way because it's the tick rather than the tock?
Yeah, like Rise was fun as a kind of an arcadey side bit, but I do appreciate the slower, more ponderous feel that World had. Where's the third one? There it is.
There are things that I really liked about the execution of certain mechanics in Sunbreak and Rise, but then none of them are deal breakers for me. Like I would like to have the second Great Sword stance available to me going forward. I would like to have counterplay available for Heavy Bowgun going forward, but they would not change my feelings about either of those weapons if they weren't there.
Yeah, we do know that they are bringing some of those Wirebug skills into the base kit. They did the same thing after Generations, is they brought some of those side skills across.
I could really do. I'm two minds about it in that given our tiny range as dual blade users, the aerial moves are nice to have. However, they don't gel very well with the normal kit. They're kind of a bonus thing, and they feel like a bonus thing when you use it. So I almost hope they just get rid of them entirely.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
for
the ones that
there was a couple of those tools were very, very useful, and they felt natural. So I hopefully keep some of those.
Yeah, the thing is, like the ones that I really liked weren't very wire buggy. Like for instance, the heavy bowgun counter that I liked. I liked it because it looked and felt cool to use. The only way that you could tell that it was even a wire bug move is that it drew wire bug lines on you while you were preparing the counter to be hit.
Yep.
Like it didn't involve moving anywhere.
Yep. Other things is the hunting horn overhaul is being reversed, which I'm of kind of two minds about that.
I've seen a lot of people I've seen at least one very important key account that is very upset about that.
Yeah, I think they kind of went too far the other way with Rise.
Yeah, I think it got a bit too arcade gimmicky in some ways.
Yeah.
It felt like you were playing some different kind of game almost.
Yeah.
I like the image of the hunting horn as the music being something that organically grows out of fighting with it, rather than you stand at the side and then you rock out.
Yeah.
Do you
you need to use the monster's head as part of your instrument. Where did that say?
Yeah,
Go?
the primary
here.
form of instrumentation should be percussion.
Yes.
That is how it works.
It is the honk, the bonk to your honk. Right. So yeah, that's getting reversed. I'm not sure how fully they're going to reverse it, but we'll see. Maybe find the happy middle ground.
Yeah.
The best bit of news I found so far: you can turn the talking cat off. You can just make it meow.
It should only meow. I was
It should
fine
only
when
meow.
the only things they said were in text.
Yep.
I just don't. It's not something that I want from Monster Hunter games. Like I do love me some Star Rail, and part of the reason I love me some Star Rail is that I like just watching the characters interact and seeing all of the things they say to each other. I relish the lengthy talking sequences, but when I boot up Monster Hunter, that's not what I'm there for. I'm sorry.
No,
It's like there
where
is a
there's
monster, and I
mechanism-
want to cut its head off.
cat's tail
Or
off.
at least its tail.
It does
Yes.
not help that the in World at least we encountered many a time the problem of the story actively getting in the way as it possibly could when it came to multiplayer.
Cough,
Yeah,
cough, Zora Drop, cough.
That's another thing they did mention is they want to avoid that situation again. Though there may still be a couple of occasions where it does kick in.
I really, really relish that organic hunting across the landscape for a monster with my friends feel. Like that's the thing that gives it legs. Like I don't know what it's like these days, but you know, I've been a consumer of anime for years, and Monster Hunter occupies a
This way, friend.
very very
Oh, you want one?
particular place in sort of like the Japanese pop culture imagination of being specifically a thing that you do with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it should really be built around building on that feeling and less around, you know, arcade gimmicks.
Yeah.
Oh, and go get that keyless fern because you'll definitely miss it if you.
Yes. Let's go up there and get that.
No, it's down.
So
It's
yeah,
it's not up,
Down
'cause-
there,
Oh, it's
down, it's down.
Yeah, this is why I said
see it.
you would
Oh,
definitely.
there it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is why I said you would definitely miss this one.
Whee. Up and down. Up and down. There we go. Okay. So yeah, the game's open world, we already knew that. They specifically went out of their way not to talk about the tracking system though. Whether it's going to be scout flies or anything like that.
They still got probably like a year and a half at least of development, I would think.
At least a year, yeah. I think it's supposed to be summer next year.
Yeah. So
Well, I would expect that something like whether or not they're going to use scout flies has already been decided upon. I don't mind scout flies. I think there's probably a more elegant way of doing it, but I don't mind them.
I think
I
if
don't
you,
mind scout flies.
I think if you took the scout flies and you just cleaned up their tracking a little bit to be a little bit smarter.
Yeah, and make them feel a little bit more involved because usually with scout flies, once you've done enough searches for a monster, they just go straight to it, and that's the end of it.
Well, you do at some point want the gameplay to be streamlined for farming purposes. Like you do want to
Yeah,
get
you do.
But I think that there might be a more elegant approach than follow the glowing line.
Yeah.
I don't mind it though. Like it would not make a difference to whether or not I participated in that product. I don't know what would stop me from participating in that product. Maybe if there was a battle pass, I wouldn't want to.
Oh, I really hope they don't do that.
I don't like there are some people that genuinely like battle passes.
I desperately don't like battle passes.
I can live with them when they're done right.
I only indulge in them if I really, really like a game that basically needs them. Like basically you've got no choice if you want to enjoy the game. I was the best implementation of a raw undiluted battle pass that, in my opinion, was whatchamacallit, Phantasy Star. Yeah.
Phantasy Star, yeah. I like the way Helldivers does it actually too, where you once the battle pass is expired, it just goes down the list. It's still there, and you can unlock it all through the game.
Helldivers 2 community moderators are now banning people for not liking furry art.
Helldivers, fix the community.
Well, it's not
or
the
your community
community.
mods.
Yeah, it's this is on them.
Like they
This is not-
hired the absolute most cancerous people on earth to manage their community. It's just been endless scandal after scandal with those people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a shame because the actual game itself, I was on the
Oh, no, there's bad guys here. Yeah, I really like the game itself. The game itself is dumb and fun and doesn't take itself too seriously.
it was firmly on the I might scoop it on a sale with list to play on the weekend with people. I think, but now just
Fire all your community managers. Just get rid of them.
that really makes me question the integrity of your product and its future if you got all the junk that keeps popping up about your company.
Yeah, it's only from the community managers too. It's not actually from the dev team or anything like that. It's only the community managers. So yeah, fix your team, dudes. Was there anything else?
Unless you've got some, unless you watch the PLL, because I didn't get a chance to finish it before the show.
I skimmed it very quickly. They didn't really talk too much about anything we didn't already know, other than to say that Yoshi P is not doing their Final Fantasy IX remake.
Well, we already knew that. If we were sane people, we knew that.
Yeah,
look at the people that didn't know that.
As it is.
Like the only people who thought seriously that he was doing that were very unintelligent people. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like you simply can't just do a project like that. That game was the first game, I think. No, it was the second. That required 4 discs to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First
like product. If you think about what the scope was of no, hold on, I think 8 FF8 needed as well. If you look at the scope of the FF7 remake project and just how long that spooled out, you know for a fact that there's no way Yoshi P could take on a project like that, because it would be literally impossible for it to ever come to an end within a reasonable time frame. It would be like a project of more than a decade, and he's got one of those already.
Yes.
It would literally kill him. He would not outlive the project.
Oh no.
Oh, hang on. What are we doing here?
I am mid. Yeah, I am mid jump on my way up. Oh no, I'm standing. Okay. I was standing on the edge of the cliff as I was hopping up. I was so scared.
Okay, now I guess we go over there now.
Yeah, we can go to all the mountaintops and unlock. There's a teleport point. We can go.
Oh yeah, there's a teleport point there. On a floating rock in the middle of the sky. Why?
Yeah, it's I don't know why anybody would believe that.
There was apparently there's a bunch of interviews where
a bunch of terrible journalists
wrong idea.
Being terrible.
Yeah, basically, yeah. They didn't check their facts properly.
You mean they were journalists?
They did a journalist.
To cite the meme made popular by, I think, Oren McIntyre, you think you hate journalists enough, but you don't.
Yeah.
Journalism is no longer like journalism. There was once a mythical era of journalism where it was a noble profession, but it has not been that for a very long time.
I have for a while.
I don't think it hasn't been like that for 100 years, literally.
I wouldn't even call what we got now journalists.
Although, to be fair, there were some journalists that stowed away on the boats that were landing on the beach of Normandy simply so that they could cover what was going on in person.
Yeah, I often say there's only one journalist left, especially in America, and his name's James O'Keefe.
There's lots of bloggers. Lots and lots of bloggers.
Yeah, well, blogging doesn't take any effort, does it?
Nope.
Yeah, you don't
research.
You don't have to go undercover with the CIA by pretending to be a gay man and go on a date with a guy.
That's dedication.
It's not that you can't write a high effort blog post. It's that almost nobody does.
I'm gonna die.
I am looking for one. See if I've got any of those items that restore stamina in my inventory.
What? I'm going to ignore what you just did.
Because
if I choose to acknowledge it, the game might just suddenly decide, oi,
It gave me a little bit of stamina back when that happened. I will not have enough to make it to the top.
God damn it.
Am I going to make it? I'm getting close.
I might
I'm
have
going to
enough.
just drop off now and use my last bit of stamina to land without dying.
Oh, yes!
No, I failed. Oh, I lost half my health.
Yay, I made it.
Unfortunately, the one who cooks the stamina food is a journalist, and I don't have her in my roster. But I mean, I suppose that's sort of illustrative in the sense that, like, Charlotte is the journalist that most people have in their imagination. The sort of the plucky, intrepid reporter who basically treats the truth as their personal deity. But that particular journalist doesn't exist in the real world anymore.
No, it's a dead art. There's a bird up there.
Yeah, there's a statue of the 7 here, not a teleport point, so you can't activate that in multiplayer. But I saw another teleport point when the cutscene happened.
Yeah, there's
one on
statue
top
of the
of
7 over
We
here.
could always just drop out and rejoin. It's also
That's probably a good idea. Just so I can actually get this marker.
because he's the host, so he'll stay in the same place, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So how do we leave?
I can do it this way. There we go. In that case, I think we're done.
We could talk about how Margit is the Uncle Ruckus of Elden Ring.
I was moderately impressed by your post. I was moderately impressed by your message that you sent me explaining how exactly Margit and Uncle Ruckus had synonymity.
I will copy pasta. I'll copy pasta my MS Paint job. There was this just delusional moment when I came out of the shower where everything just clicked for me. That Margit is totally Uncle Ruckus.
Shower thoughts are like that.
Yeah, you usually shouldn't indulge them though.
I'll just paste...
you can get lost down some real mental rabbit holes if you spend too much time with your shower thoughts. I wonder what it is about the shower that does that. Is it like the sensory deprivation or something?
I don't know. Maybe just that moment of peace.
It's similar to the feeling you get when your mind's wandering before bed, but because you're more engaged, it doesn't. I don't know. It just seems to fit better. You just can remember stuff instead of falling asleep immediately and forgetting.
Yeah, maybe. Although my pre-bed mind is usually like, you didn't turn the sprinkler off.
Yeah, and the only other bit of news is something Vol sent me that I think was just me reaffirmed that Dante is the best Capcom character. Dante is the best Capcom character.
That was, in fact, why I sent it to you, because I knew that you would be happy to see your boy being ripped.
Yeah, I do like my boy showing his colors. Just more happy I am that his inferior clone they tried to make is left in the dirt because his main
belongs.
Yeah, Dino is cannot touch OG Dante. In both Japan and America, Dante is the most popular Capcom character. Not male character.
All right, let's wrap up, shall we?
Yep. All right. Y'all got anything for us in this out?
I don't think so.
Alrighty. We will see you guys next week. Sayonara. Bye-bye.